What's going on? People got an early hype train going. Let's take advantage of that. Let's see here. I don't think I saw Jason last night with the 21 months, but thank you for that with your Prime. Miller Time the 100, Eagleman the 100, Sebastian the 100. Let's go. All right, Jen, thanks for making the effort. Good to see you, Wayne, Sebastian, and Ray. 2 gifted subs from Sebastian. Let's go. Hype train 81%, level 1. Snakebit 2, the 5 gifted subs, blows right through level 2. Now we're on level 3. Let's go. Polo, I assume you have me? You're not there. Sam?
Yo.
Yo. You saw that short?
No, I was with the puppies, but I'll go check it out.
Level 3, 19%, 3 minutes left. Let's go. Welcome to the Wednesday edition. Polo, I assume you have me?
Yeah.
La da da da, la da da da. For those who were in the chat yesterday, I say something that gets close to a word you can't say. So Polo was smart to drop it, but I did not say the word, but it was close.
40K.
Is that crazy, Sam?
That is insane.
Minutes at 40 in 4 hours. That's crazy. That's fast. And I didn't think that a Ukraine one would do that, but there you go. Just today, it's Pants Wednesday. Hey, Wayne, did you see your prime minister over there soil himself when Chairman Xi gave him a tongue lashing? Yeah, that's the fastest I've gotten to 40 on anything. I'm surprised because of the subject matter.
Well, I think it has a couple things. I think it's brand new news, so that's interesting.
Yeah, true. So, I mean, that might be something where we see something that's hot in the news and try to do it every day.
I'm trying to send you stuff as I see it.
Yeah, looked good. Did a lot of shorts last night. I got to start the show. Got about a minute for the hype train. Let's go.
Portions of this program are pre-recorded. This is the Joe Pags Show. To talk to Joe, call 888-941-PAGS. And now, it's Joe Pags.
All right, glad to have you. Thanks a lot for stopping by. There's a lot going on, lots to get to, lots to talk about, and I appreciate you taking the time to check in with us today. We do have sound bites from the announcement last night from former President Trump. Make sure you stick around for that. I've also got some interesting video. I may be able to get to it, may not, but Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada, looks like he might have soiled himself when he was getting a tongue lashing by Chairman Xi in China. That was very interesting to me. But I got a lot of Trump sound bites. We're going to open the phone lines, start talking about Trump and what your thoughts are for 2024 after we know that the announcement happened. If you were listening to this program yesterday, even before the announcement happened, we had it for you because we had a reporter there who saw them put the sign up. So it was, in fact, going to be Trump 2024. Before we left the air last night, we gave it to you first right here on the Joe Pags Show. By the way, it's Wednesday. You know, we were first, Carrie. We were exclusive. We were top of mind. We were the ones. We got it done. We were first.
You were. Yeah.
Very important in the news business. That is Chocolate Voice. Polo getting it done. It's Sam making it happen. Okay. There you go. Let's break it down. A little wide shot for the dancing.
Please.
Come on, Carrie, what you got? What you bringing? Nothing.
I got
Absolutely nothing.
Not to the third
Nothing.
hour.
She ain't got no rhythm.
Nope.
Why? Because she's white.
Oh, yes, I do. Just wait.
What's
I'm
that?
white.
I don't know.
You are too.
I'm olive. I'm not white.
Okay. We
Come on
still
now.
have no rhythm.
Oh, I've got all sorts of rhythm. Come on. I'm the music guy.
Checked. You don't. No.
Let's see. Those watching. My head going to the rhythm? I think so. Now let's look at Carrie. Exactly right. There you go, Nebraska. All right. Last night we had it for you. Now, Carrie, in your personal circles, I don't know if you want to expound upon it too much. Don't tell me who they are.
Mm-hmm.
But did you hear a bunch about him announcing last night or nobody saying anything?
Nobody's saying anything.
Really?
Yep.
That's interesting. I mean, in my circles, of course, I don't have any circles, but in what I do all day, putting up YouTube shorts. By the way, I did one on Zelensky in Ukraine earlier today, about 4 hours ago. It's got over 40,000 views so far. So if you're not following me on YouTube, I'm trying to make them send me a plaque for 100,000 subscribers. We've gained about 8,000 or 9,000 in the past week or two. So go over there. It's youtube.com/Joe Pags Radio. Joe Pags Radio. If you're on your mobile device, just put in Joe Pags Radio. My channel will come up. Subscribe to it. I want to see that number jump today. And we got 40,000 views. I've only got 27,000 followers, so people outside of my following are watching it. But 40,000 views on this video I did because I don't understand why Volodymyr Zelensky decided that he would blame Russia for something his own side did. So that's up there. We'll get into that story later in the program, so I'm going to start with Trump. But go and check that out. And on Instagram, it's going kind of nuts. I've gained 15,000 followers or something in the past 3 or 4 days. Or not actually since Election Day. Because I went on there on Election Day and just said what I felt. One's got 500,000 views. So we're hitting for some reason, we're hitting a chord right now. It's taken me since 2009 to get 27,000 followers on Instagram.
Yeah, that's a long time.
You know what I mean? It's a long
That's
time.
very
And I've
long
gained
time,
like 10 plus thousand in the past week. So there's something that's hitting the right mark. And I think maybe people are looking for somebody that's more like-minded or somebody who's going to at least be more fair in the coverage. And that's what I'm trying to do. Plus, I'm trying to be funny. And sometimes even Carrie will laugh at my stuff. So sometimes,
trying. Yeah.
sometimes I can be funny. Don't act like I can't be funny.
I'm just kidding. You're funny. Whatever.
So for some reason, and the team holds back a lot of these emails now because you got some stuff is like 8 pages long and and some stuff is just negative. They even keep back some of the positive stuff. For some reason, this made it through today. And I'm going to get into the Trump sound bites. If you're not watching, if you want to see him announce this last night at Mar-a-Lago, I'm going to show the videos as well. Get right now to joepags.com and scroll down to watch now. So watch now. And by the way, another side note, thank you to the listeners in Oklahoma City. We've heard from you guys like crazy since Monday when Kevin put us on live in Oklahoma City on that flamethrowing FM. Thank you for listening to us, reaching out, calling in. Love being back live in Oklahoma City. Okay. I get this. For some reason, this makes it to my inbox. Just want to say how freaking disappointed I am in the Republican Party, blah, blah, blah. They put Mitch back in charge. It's from Seth. We have another 4 years of the Biden and Democrats, blah, blah, blah. P.S. I listen to you and love your show. And Carrie's beautiful and the best.
What? I'm sorry. Oh,
Why
no.
does that,
Say
why
that
does
again.
That, why does that get into my inbox? Why do I have to read that?
Say it again. Say it again.
I said it.
Say.
I said it.
I know, but I started talking.
Right.
I made the mistake. I started talking.
That's what you get when you interrupt the host. That's what you get. You missed a stupid little compliment for you.
Let me hear the stupid little comment I needed today. Come on.
I listen to you and love your show. All right, let me get into the Trump bites from
No,
what?
talk about me. Let me hear it. I just want to hear it one time.
Mike, I need that. Talk
That
about
came
me.
out really wrong.
Mike, I need that. Talk about me.
Really,
Send me that
really
soundbite. I need
wrong.
that for my buttons over here. And then he says something about Carrie's beautiful and the best. So what I have is
that's
somebody who
nice.
hasn't seen
Thank
the
you,
show,
Seth.
clearly. And what?
You're
You
so
literally
cool.
said, stop,
So
talk about
cool.
me.
That I know, and that's really not what I meant. I just wanted to hear that comment. That's all.
Wow.
And thank you, Seth. Appreciate that.
Check that ego aisle
really
5.
nice.
Check that ego aisle 5, please.
Okay.
There you go. So
What
that
are
for
you
some
doing
reason,
wrong?
they say, why is this stuff getting to me? Well, you guys gotta increase the filter.
I don't know. I kind of like the email anyway. So
Oh, whatever.
you're
There you
welcome.
go. So delete. Okay, so Seth, thanks for listening. I appreciate you taking the time. Last
awesome.
night, as we said, as was anticipated by the entire world, former President Donald Trump stepped up to the plate, and he said what we thought he would say. Now, there was some speculation beforehand that he might, in fact, not announce last night. I'm not really sure what else it could have been. Some people were speculating that it could have been that he was going to be the House Speaker. Let me say this as clearly as I can again, because I want to make sure that we're all on the same page. Donald Trump is not going to take a step down once he's been to the pinnacle. Why would he? It doesn't make any sense. I get why there was speculation to that level, but that isn't what ended up happening, clearly. So at Mar-a-Lago, he's got 400 or 500 of his closest friends and allies and fans, and then a bunch of media outlets that don't really like him much. And he steps up to the plate and he says this.
In order to make America great and glorious again, I am tonight announcing my candidacy for President of the United States.
And the crowd goes wild. There you go. He's going to run again in 2024. That probably happened because the announcement was supposed to start at 9 o'clock Eastern time. That probably happened around 9:02, 9:03, 9:04, something like that, right? At 9:08, NPR tweeted this. Breaking. Donald Trump, who tried to overthrow the results of the 2020 presidential election and inspired a deadly riot at the Capitol in a desperate attempt to keep himself in power, has filed to run for president again in 2024.
Who is that from?
National Public Radio, NPR. Verified NPR account, was not hacked. They actually posted that. Let me say this as clearly as I can. As I don't say the word clearly, very clearly. Let me say this as clearly as I can. NPR just showed itself for what I've been saying it is for many, many years. And by the way, we partially subsidize NPR. They get some money from us. They just proved they're not journalistic. It's an opinion outlet that is an arm of the radical left in this country. Nothing what they just said is true. Let's go through it again. I've got some more Trump sound bites coming up. Donald Trump, who tried to overthrow the results of the 2020 presidential election, That's not true. He did not try to overthrow the results of the 2020 election. No, what he was going to do as the sitting president, he was going to see as the Congress, the Senate, and the House use the constitutional ability they have to challenge electors, which happens almost every election. So what they said there is untrue. And inspired a deadly riot at the Capitol. That's untrue. He did not inspire a deadly riot. It was only called a deadly riot because one, if not two people who were Trump supporters were killed that day. So he didn't inspire some deadly riot that was killing people at the Capitol. People died at the Capitol because of bad acting on the other side. But what he said in that speech down the road was go peacefully and patriotically, let your voices heard. Nothing about peacefully and patriotically says go and riot. They say that he did that in a desperate attempt to keep himself in power. That's not true. None of what they said there was true. So NPR is not a news organization. It's not a news outlet. It does not practice journalism. Don't ever take anything NPR says as journalism or as fact. Always check NPR and check the facts because clearly they have a one-side bias, and that's not okay. All right. After he announced that he was going to run again in 2024, the former president said this.
This will not be my campaign. This will be our campaign all together. Because the only force strong enough to defeat the massive corruption we are up against is you, the American people. It's true. The American people, the greatest people on earth. We love them all. And we love both sides. We're going to bring people together. We're going to unify people. And it was happening in the previous administration, previous to the previous. And what was bringing them together was success. Prior to COVID coming in, the people were calling me, that were calling.
So he's just going to break the left. Now he says he's going to bring people together. And it's going to be our campaign. Very inclusive in what he's saying. And that's going to completely trigger the left in this country. But he also is not backing down from the fact that elections are having major issues, and that mail-in balloting or not verifying who's voting is a major problem in this country.
To eliminate cheating, I will immediately demand voter ID, same-day voting, and only paper ballots. Only paper ballots.
Now, that's something I don't think he can do. I'm with him. I agree with him. We should be able to say, at the very least, elections should be run to make sure that the person voting is a citizen, which is a requirement to vote. You should show an ID. It should be a government-issued ID to prove who you are, and no mail-in voting. And then he goes on to say, of course, you could have absentee voting, like I said the other day. But I don't think he can do that on a federal level. That's why the Constitution says that it's up to the state legislatures. We'll see. I don't think he's going to get that done. But I understand why he desires that. I think we should all want that to make sure that our elections are fair. And then he very smartly talks to the military about the ridiculous mandates that Biden and this administration have put on them.
I will get Biden's radical left ideology out of our military, and I did. And in the first day, they put it back. They signed an executive order and they put it back. It was gone. We will abolish every Biden COVID mandate and rehire every patriot who was fired from our military with an apology and full back pay.
That is a very, very, very smart move. A very smart move, because what happened to the military and our healthcare workers and anybody else who was pushed out of a job because of COVID mandates, what happened to them was unfair and un-American. It was anti-freedom and liberty. I like that he didn't talk about Operation Warp Speed. He talked about the results of a monarchy, a totalitarian government, telling people, take this shot in your arm or else you're fired. And I love that he says he's going to bring them back with back pay. Listen, I like he was energized. He was in his element. He did what we expect Trump to do, and I'm happy to see that he's running again. Your thoughts when we come back. 888-941-PAGS, 888-941-7247, joepags.com. Stay right here.
This is the Joe Pags Show.
All right, people, I appreciate you hanging out. After Snakebit did the 5, we had Junior Guns with 100, Snapper J the 200, 7 gifted subs, 600 bits. Appreciate that early hype train. Demands with the resub with Prime. That's 13 months now, Demands. Thank you. Patriot, I agree with you. Absolutely. Good to see you. Demands with the 13 months. You could also use your Prime by doing !Amazon in my channel. I saw Gabby in here earlier. Let me give her a shout out. I really like the new shout out function because you can just click on the heart button right there above chat when I do this. So if you're not a sub to Gabby, or if you're not a follower of Gabby, that's my daughter Gabby, 22 years old, sings, dances, does IRL, does all sorts of great stuff. Click on that heart and you'll get a follow to her channel right now. Go ahead and make that happen. It's right there above the chat. Rich, the 100 bits. Good to see you, Rich. Thank you. The acoustics are great in my room. I have audio acoustic panels up on the wall. It's great in here. We did that on purpose. It sounds really, really good in here. Great to have you. Thanks. I appreciate you stopping by. Lots going on, lots to get to, lots to talk about. Thank you for being here. Phone calls rolling in. Everybody seems to have an opinion on former President Donald Trump announcing he's running again. And you heard what he said. Very, very smart to come out of the box and say this is our campaign. Very smart to come out of the box and say we want to make sure the elections are secure. Very smart to come out of the box saying I'm going to take care of the military. Very, very smart. And I definitely want your opinions on this. A lot of people have a lot of very, very far to this side or far to that side when it comes to Trump. I want to see if he can bring everybody together and where you are with this announcement from last night. Meantime, got to remind you, the Fed is just printing money like it's going out of style. Over $9 trillion, actually just about $9 trillion in just the last year. The dollar's losing value. That means the paper money you have is not worth as much as it was because of what they're doing. I recommend you diversify your portfolio with physical gold and silver. The only company I trust is Goldco. They're in a gold star in my book, and thousands of Americans agree. Goldco has placed over $1 billion in precious metals. I'm here to ask you, can you continue to afford rising prices and the decline of the dollar? I urge you not to miss out on what could be the biggest gold and silver boom in our generation. That's why I want you to visit goldco.com/PAGS. Goldco.com/PAGS. Made that site just for you because you listen to or watch my show. When you do, you're not only going to get the chance to protect your retirement savings with gold and silver, but as one of my listeners, you could get $10,000 or more in free silver just for doing it. Don't miss out. Visit goldco.com/PAGS right now. Goldco.com/PAGS. You'd be glad you did. We go to the phone lines. Let me say hello and welcome to Kevin in Oklahoma City. Is this the Kevin?
This is the Kevin, Joe. How are you doing?
I'm living the dream. This is the Kevin I keep talking about at the radio station?
Yeah, this is him.
Well,
yeah,
brother, listen, first of all,
station in Oklahoma City.
you did incredibly in John Schneider's movie, by the way.
Oh, thank you very much. Yes, I was proud to be part of that, and that is quite the great movie. And, of course, here's the big plug to dieformovie.com. I'll just stop right there.
Yeah, no, you go there and check it out. Kevin's in there. John does a great job. It's a great story, of course. What do you think, Kevin? First of all, thank you for putting us back on live in Oklahoma City. We're on an FM there, so I know that it sounds crystal clear. And I know you've got thoughts on Trump. What do you think?
Well, that's what I was saying. I don't know if I'm excited about this or not. Big Trump fan, voted for him twice before, think his policies, and it was very effective. I think he changed the country for the better. I don't know about 4 years from now. I mean, what's going to happen? I mean, the Republican Party is only 40%. What's he going to do to get the independent, to get a few Democrats to win it again? Is he going to push somebody else out that might be a better fit for 2024? So I'm just kind of looking at everything, just kind of scratching my head going, I really don't know if this is a good thing or not.
Well, it's interesting because nationally, as you know, in the House races, Republicans got 5 million more votes than Democrats did. So there is a base there that at least is centered leaning right, if not right. I think he's got to be, I'm with you because there's some concern about him going after people early. I think he should be probably just do what he did last night. I want to unify, go military. Let's make sure that our elections are fair and free, and let's make America great again. I don't think he needs to start naming people, and I think that early DeSantis stuff sent some people off the rails. Is that what you thinking as well?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, is he going to go? And then I absolutely believe in the Pocahontas content, everything from before. He was spot on, and all the craziness he came up with and said before, 99% of it was correct and on point. However, I've never seen anybody get so many darts thrown at them constantly over 4 years while they're doing a fantastic job.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I think it's gonna be wait and see. If he's got better people surrounding him, if you've got people in his ear that he'll actually listen to, and if he does what he did last night, I think it's an easy road. If he starts doing the Little Marco and Lion Ted and Sleepy Jeb, and he does all that stuff now and doesn't sort of establish that he still is the guy, he might run into trouble. So I think I agree with you.
I think we're both. I think so too. And I also wonder too. It depends on who's on the other side of the aisle running against him. I really don't think it'll be Biden. I still think that Biden will be out for some reason, for some kind of medical condition somewhere.
Yeah.
And I don't think that our vice president, that should be unifying everybody, I don't think she'll run. So who's going to be up against him?
It's a good question. I'll try to answer after the break. Kevin, thanks again for everything, brother. I appreciate you. Open line now, 888-941-PAGS, joepags.com. A lot of show to come. Keep it here. Your thoughts on Trump when we come back.
Joe Pags.
Clear.
What's happening, people? Good to see you. We've got a lot of show to go, just a half an hour in. Your thoughts on Trump certainly appreciated. I'll see if I can start a poll, but I want the poll to last longer than it did last time. See if I can get a poll going in here. I'm not sure. Because it was really short last time, which is kind of dumb. I'll make it like 3 minutes. All right, the poll is up. Trump is running again. This is a good thing, a bad thing. I'm not sure yet. Vote in the poll right now. Let's go. Are you promoting your chat in here or your channel? Is that what that's going on? Whatever, Wayne live. So you followed me 1 minute ago and then promoted your channel. Bye. Yeah, Patriot. I should probably do more of that with the election season coming up. I probably will. Yeah, we have a strict rule about against self-promotion. Why would I have my listeners or my viewers here to help promote your show? Now, if you're a friend of mine and I want to promote you, I will. What do you want me to say about Mike Pence? I saw a bit of his interview with Hannity the other day. I'm a Trump guy. Well, vote in the poll to Sahor. I'm not sure. Yeah, Jen, unban him. That is Wayne. He just messaged me. He should have messaged me first. Go ahead and unban him, okay? If you can, I'll try to go through and do it myself. Sam, unban him if you can, please.
Okay.
Come on, Wayne. And Wayne can message me. I mean, he messages me all the time. He just messaged me, said that was me. Sorry. Hi, great to have you. Thanks. I appreciate you stopping by. It is the Joe Pag Show for your Wednesday. The post-Trump announcement Wednesday where the left is freaking out and crumbling down, and many on the right are pretty happy. I've got about 400 people in the chat room right now, so if you want to come by and chat about the show and whatever, you can certainly do that. I did a poll in the chat room, and interesting results. The question that I put in there, the statement that I put in there was, Trump is running again. This is A, a good thing, B, I'm not sure yet, or C, a bad thing. And Carrie, how do you think that turned out?
I'm going to say the majority said a good thing.
Any guesses on numbers?
Maybe 70-30, maybe?
Well, there are three choices, so it can't be 70-30.
Oh.
Way to listen, Lucky.
Is it good or is it bad?
She's wonderful and beautiful, but doesn't listen.
That's what I heard.
Well, you're not that far off, to be honest with you. It's a good thing wins by 76%. 20% for I'm not sure yet, and only 4% say a bad thing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Which is interesting. So, again, there wasn't a right answer. I just wanted to sort of do an impromptu poll and see what people thought. And right now, it looks like somebody just said that's Carrie math. Yes, that is Carrie math. Exactly. Got three choices. What do you think it is? I'm saying 70-30. That's what I think. So there you go. We'll do some more polls. People say they want some more polling as we get into more of election season. We'll certainly do that. If you're just joining us, we've been on for a half an hour. I put my blood, sweat, and tears into the first half hour. I'm not really sure what your problem is. I don't care if you got an issue, a personal thing, if you're at work. Listen, you're going to have to get off earlier.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying, Carrie?
I think, absolutely. You got to tell your boss. You got to lay down the rules. You got to.
God.
You have to be here at 5.
Gives you 24 hours a day. We can get 3 of them, can't we? I mean, is that really asking a lot? And by the way, all this entertainment and all the beautiful and talented this one, you get that for 3 full hours a day for free. It's free. It didn't cost them anything.
Crazy. I know. You got to listen all day.
Sam, can you put a block on that one emailer?
I can try.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that.
Seth.
He's going to filter that right. Seth is
email.
gone. What, you remember the guy's name? That is so lame. Come on, man. All right, 888-941-PAGS, 888-941-7247, joepags.com. I'll probably do another poll in a second because about 50 people just jumped on when I said I'm doing polls. So I'll probably do another one of those. And again, always listen on the radio. We get great ratings on the radio. I don't want anybody to stop on the radio. But if you're away from a radio and you want to watch what we're doing, we do it like a TV show. joepags.com, joepags.com. Scroll down, click on Watch Now, and you can see the program as we do the program live. So Trump announces last night he's definitely going to do it. And then he said, this is our campaign, not my campaign. So he includes everybody immediately. And then he says, I want to fix the election laws. So you've got to prove that you're a citizen and you're allowed to vote. I want to make sure paper ballots only. Paper ballots only. He says it. And then he steps away from the microphone. Paper ballots. Only paper ballots. Puts on this growl and sort of steps back a little bit. And he's just like, and Carrie, you couldn't see it because you don't watch the show because you don't care. But
it's not true.
He's standing there like a proud papa. Those are my ballots. He's like, I'm like.
Okay. Well, by the way, that's a really bad impression.
Well, let's hear yours.
I'm just saying. I don't have one.
Okay,
I do not have one.
Maybe zip it.
I don't think it'd be good enough.
And maybe cállate. You know what I'm saying? So maybe what? All right. So interesting. Then he also says he immediately goes to the military, and he's not dumb, smart guy. He knows the military can't stand this administration. People are not signing up. Very, very low recruitment now in the military. They're worried about pronouns, for God's sakes. And he says anybody who is fired over mandates and the military, I'm going to bring you all back with back pay. I mean, that could be like 1.5 million people immediately that are definitely going to vote for him, whether they like him or not. They're like, I want my back pay, and I don't want people to tell me that I have to take a shot in my arm. So your thoughts about this? 888-941-PAGS, 888-941-7247, joepags.com. Let me go back at it. It's going to be Matt in Minneapolis. Hi, Matt.
Hey, how's it going?
Living the dream, man. What's happening?
Curious, I was curious what you think about how all the media has just been, a lot of them have been blaming Trump for the midterm results. I mean, some people are blaming McConnell, and just what your thoughts are.
Yeah.
Do you think that's going to kind of blow over? Like, the way Lindsey Graham was like, he'll destroy the party, and now like his biggest fan, or do you think it's different this time, or just more of the same?
Well, I think the media is lying, first of all, about his record in the midterms. His record for the midterms, and he said it last night, it's like 226-23 or something. So he massive wins. The vast majority of those he endorsed won. Now the big names, the highlights, the ones that you really were watching, some of them didn't win and they look bad. But the vast majority of those that he endorsed won, so he didn't hurt them, certainly. I think Mitch McConnell is more to blame. And thanks, Matt. I appreciate you. Mitch McConnell is more to blame because you can see where Mitch did not put enough money in Blake Masters. You had 73 or 74 million for Mark Kelly in Arizona. You had 8 or 9 million for Blake Masters. I don't know how you beat that. You don't. Then you see Mitch McConnell pumping money into Alaska to try to help Lisa Murkowski win over Kelly Chewbacca. I think Mitch McConnell has made it clear, he's drawn a line in the sand, that he is in fact anti-Trump. And I think Mitch McConnell did all he could in this election to undercut any Trump-endorsed candidates. And it worked in a lot of cases. It worked. So I think Mitch McConnell is certainly responsible for the losses. I think that the candidates could have done a better job in some of these races that we were watching. And I think that, without a doubt, Trump's endorsement is something you would not turn away if you're a conservative or a Republican. So the media wants to blame him to make him look bad. I'm telling you, the pure numbers show that he helped them. He didn't hurt them. Let me go back at it. Going to be line 2, and Eric in Texas. Hi, Eric.
Hey, Joe. Thanks for taking my call.
You bet. What's happening?
So I'm a big fan of Donald Trump, and I was very happy when he announced. But I do want to see a full Republican primary as usual. I want to see like Ted Cruz, and I want to see Nikki Haley, Ron DeSantis. I want to see all of them go on stage and make the case of why. And I want to see Trump debate them and make his case for why, especially after like the COVID thing. I think he kind of dropped the ball when the COVID happened. But also, I feel that Donald Trump is the biggest unifier for the Democrats. So that kind of worries me. I think if he does win, Democrats will vote just to vote against him as if it were someone else. You know, I'm not naive. I know they're going to be the next Antichrist too. But I think the Democrats won't have that fuel that they get with the name Donald Trump.
I don't disagree with you, except we know by recent history that he beat the Clinton machine. And that was the best finance campaign the left has thrown out there in a very long time. I hear what you're saying, but I'm not wary of more Democrats voting because, again, he's going to energize the base to come out and vote for him. But I do think that the caller brings up another idea for a poll. And I'll take phone calls on this, as well as I'll put the poll up in the chat room when I hit a break here. If you want to go and take part, joepags.com, and just click on Watch Now. Who is going to take Trump on? And I'll give options. I mean, Carrie, just off the top of my head, Ron DeSantis possibly. I'm not saying they will, but these are possibilities. Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, Mike Pompeo, Mike Pence. Who else you got? I don't think Cruz is going to do it.
No, I don't think so. I'm trying to think of somebody else.
I mean, Mike Tulsi Gabbard jump in there now that she's made the switch from the Democrats? I don't know. Could be a possibility.
Maybe. I think that could be possible. Yeah.
Anybody else making noise out there that you know of?
I don't think so. All I'm hearing about right now is DeSantis and Trump.
And you had Pence was on with Hannity the other night, and he
say he was thinking
basically
about it?
said that if he does run for public office again, it would be the one public office. So he's made it clear that if he runs again, it's going to be that one. So I think that's an interesting question. 888-941-PAGS, 888-941-7247. Sam, you think Carrie Lake might do it, huh?
I mean, maybe, or maybe even a running mate. I don't know. Just throwing it out there.
I think that's interesting. I think that's interesting because a lot of people have said, maybe, Trump would do well to bring in somebody who can soften him up a little bit. And I think he did that with Mike Pence. I mean, Mike Pence is a good statesman, and he was a very good Indiana governor. But he was the, whether he likes it or not, he was the beta to Trump's alpha. And I think that was necessary because he was able to, in a very diplomatic way, say the same thing Trump said undiplomatically, if that makes sense. So maybe Carrie Lake, I can almost see that as a running mate thing, but it might be premature on that as well. They're still counting votes in Arizona. But I wonder what people think about that as well. 888-941-PAGS, joepags.com. Let me go to Casey in Yakima. Casey, what's going on?
Hey, Joe. Just one short comment and then a question for you.
Yeah.
Comment. I believe Trump needs to stay away from calling names to anybody this time around, especially DeSantis. I moved my girls down to Florida this year, and we love him.
Okay, great.
And then my question to you, sir, is why isn't the sheriff's departments of these counties where all this voting nonsense is happening, why aren't they arresting anyone? My grandfather was a deputy, and he arrested many, many police officers and elected officials.
It's a good question. First of all, it's almost like you did a promo for the show. We've got Sheriff Mark Lamb on the program today. He's got a new book out. He's from Pinal County, Arizona. And I do talk to him about the problems that were happening in the primary in his county in Arizona. There were not enough Republican ballots in Pinal County, Arizona back in the primary earlier on. I think it was in August. For some reason, August jumps out. It could have been before that, but I think it was August. Either way, there were not enough primary ballots for Republicans in Pinal County. I asked him what he found out through an investigation, and there was one. And then we talk about what happened on Election Day as well in Maricopa County. You got 20% of the tabulators just didn't work. Should people be arrested over that? Were there crimes that were happening? That's an interesting question as well. We'll get into all that with the sheriff coming up, and that's going to be next hour. So make sure you stick around for that. Then we've got Troy Nails, who's our U.S. representative. He was at the announcement last night. We'll have him on in hour number 3. 888-941-PAGS, 888-941-7247, joepags.com. Let me just say this. I disagree with the idea that Trump shouldn't come up with nicknames for people. I think his name calling and the nicknames, it was funny. It made for an interesting primary season. I just think it's too early. I think once people start announcing, because he's already announced, he's the only Republican announced to run for president. Once they start announcing, then you get into Little Marco and Lion Ted and Sleepy Jeb and all this stuff. That makes sense then. I think it is early now, so I'd agree on that angle, but not wholeheartedly. He doesn't call anybody anything. I think that was a fun part of the primary season back in 15 and 16. 888-941-PAGS, joepags.com. Stay right here.
Joe Pags.
So,
Give me one in the chat if you are subscribed to my YouTube. A 1 if you're subscribed to my YouTube. Go check out the latest short video I did. Because the latest short video is on Zelensky immediately saying Russia dropped bombs on Poland when it wasn't Russia at all. Give me a 1 if you are subbed to my YouTube. If you're not, it's Joe Pags Radio. And you know that you're still floating around YouTube. JoePagsRadio. Do me a favor and go and follow right now, okay? Honda the 400 bits, I appreciate that. H2O or H2O Junior. It looks like H2O. I'll be honest with you. It's H2O Junior, so he's Water Junior or she. Appreciate the 21 months. Thanks for the resub. Thank you. Wayne Live is allowed in the channel again because Wayne popped in and it looked like it was self-promotion, but it wasn't. It was just Wayne saying he's got a different handle. I'm going to make that top of the hour. I'm going to do that poll again. So stay here. When we hit the top of the hour, I'm going to do the poll. I'll go grab my protein bar and come back and see where we are. But I'm going to put in some names about who I think may be running. Okay? Wayne, your word's not mine. I'm not going to say you're wrong there. Yes, Wayne got in trouble. Wayne got in trouble. You think I should run? No, I would never run for an elected office, ever. Patriot, thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, Wayne and I are friends, yes. Well, if you're still using YouTube, why not have an account? Why just pretend you're a guest to like hurt them? If you're using the service anyway, why not go on there and click a sub? The short video today did over 40,000 in the first 4 hours. So go and check that out. I'd appreciate it if you would. See, I win and we win if we force YouTube to send me a plaque for 100,000 followers. And we just hit 40,000 on Instagram. That's kind of nice. One of my Instagram reels is almost at 500,000 from a few days ago. So go check out the reels on Instagram as well. You know, Polo, TMZ is so stupid, I'll be honest with you. That is not even a story. If my daughter doesn't want to work on my show, is that a story?
I mean,
I don't think it is.
I get it. I mean, I kind of think it is a little bit. But I don't blame her. But I don't blame her, you know.
I mean, Tiffany's not going to work on the campaign either. That's another daughter. Oh, nobody said anything about it.
But was she involved before?
No, but why does that matter? I mean, she's the guy's daughter, doesn't feel like doing it. It's not a news story. But you think it is, it's fine. I'm saying I don't believe it is.
Yeah.
Dad with the 9 months, appreciate that. We could have had a baby. You got an Amazon Prime, make sure you do exclamation Amazon in the chat. Great to have you. At the top of the hour, we'll do a PAGS poll over on the website, joepags.com. Click on Watch Now, and we'll do a poll. I'm just going to put in a bunch of names I can think of off the top of my head that might be running against former President Donald Trump for the Republican nomination in 2024. TMZ does a story that Polo just sent me that Ivanka Trump has said that she won't be working on his campaign. But of course, what was the headline? She ducks out, she bows out. What was the headline they used? Something stupid. Let me pull this up here. Ivanka Trump bails, won't work on Donald Trump 2024. Now, listen, here's where I think it's a news story. If Ivanka Trump says, I don't like my father as the president, and I think he did so many wrong things, and I think that he caused a riot, now that's a news story. The fact that she's not going to work on his campaign, she's going to focus on maybe her clothing line. Maybe she's going to go on vacation. That's not news to me. She did work with the administration, certainly when he was in office, for free, didn't get paid. And her husband worked, as an advisor for Trump as well. But if they come out and say, I'm not doing it because he's a bad candidate and I'm going to support somebody else, now that's a news story. The fact that one of his kids is going to work on the campaign does not make news for me unless some sort of a reason or motive goes along with it. So I think TMZ is reaching, but again, like I did with NPR, they immediately reacted. We've got to get something negative out there about Donald Trump immediately. And trust me, I watch these news sources all day. 30 different news sources came out with negative stories on Donald Trump today. Why? Because they're scared to death of the guy. Because he took out, like I said, the Clinton machine. The political machine that is the Hillary and Bill Clinton campaign funding and financing, and they ran the DNC, for God's sakes, in 2016. He beat them. They know they're in trouble with this guy running again. All right, 888-941-PAGS, 888-941-7247, joepags.com. Got to tell you about Tart Cherry Gummies from the makers of Super Beets Heart Chews. These are great. They taste great. No sugar. You're going to love them because if you work out like I do, you're going to find that you've got a lot of inflammation afterwards. These work to reduce inflammation from exercise and support your metabolic health as well. The gummies are made from a clinically studied tart cherry extract that's up to 40 times more concentrated than many other similar extracts out there. Just 2 tart cherry gummies are the antioxidant equivalent of 16 ounces of tart cherry juice or 100 cherries, and they're vegan, non-GMO, have 0 sugar, and they are delicious. Formulated by a team of scientists led by a Nobel Prize-winning doctor, the tart cherry has been clinically studied to support metabolic health, so why not jump on these right now? They come with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Try them risk-free for 90 days. If you don't love them, you send them back. No questions asked. You're not going to send them back. People love these. So go right now and get up to 35% off of Tart Cherry Gummies, plus free shipping at mytartcherry.com/PAGS. It's their best offer available anywhere, mytartcherry.com/PAGS. Up to 35% off right now. mytartcherry.com/PAGS. Make it happen. We go to the phone lines. We say hello and welcome to line 5. It's Paul in Texas. Hi, Paul. What's going on?
Yeah, I've been listening like the last few days, and great show, by the way.
Thank you.
I've been wanting to hopefully maybe clarify something, or at least kind of give a lead
Sure.
to a little insight about Trump and DeSantis. I think most of us listening to this show would probably agree that the media would like there to be a fight between Trump and whoever, a bunch of Republican infighting.
Yes.
But DeSantis endorsed a never-Trumper candidate for Senate in Colorado who got mollywopped by a really lame opponent. That person also was a benefactor of a bunch of Mitch McConnell's money that he just, lit on fire in Alaska and Colorado and some other places that, did nothing. So I don't know if DeSantis really did all that on purpose, but if this is really by design or whatnot, maybe he didn't know some of this stuff or whatever. But I think that's just helpful for people to know if they want to decide if Trump thinks that's not sanctimonious, which is a pretty mild thing to say about somebody. I feel like Trump sort of just laid down a bunch of facts about DeSantis, and maybe it's unpleasant, but I think it's maybe overreaching a little bit to say that he attacked him.
Right. He has, because he didn't attack him, but he certainly took him on, and I didn't see a reason why. Do you know the name of the candidate in Colorado? Because I don't remember an anti-Trump or a never-Trumper being the Republican nominee. Who was it?
His name's Joe O'Dea, and he's pretty moderate. He ran against Michael Bennett.
But I know, right. I saw that race, but I didn't know that O'Dea came out and said, "I'm against Trump." Did he say that?
Well, yeah, as far as I understand, he said
that
he would actively campaign against Trump. So I'm hoping to be fact-checked about that.
No. I'll check it out. I'm not here to say that you're lying to me, but I feel like I would have heard that. I know that Trump didn't seem upset that O'Dea lost. I know that. So there must be something more to that. Now, are you saying that DeSantis went out there to Colorado and campaigned with the guy?
No, I don't know. I can't verify if that happened or not. I think he just, what I've heard is he endorsed the guy. The guy said that he would actively campaign against Trump. He's like pro-choice and kind of like a moderate Republican person. So I feel like the establishment wants to pit them together. So
I'll check it out.
Either did it knowingly or not.
Paul, I got to run. I appreciate that. We'll check it out, and we're back after this. Stay right here.
You're listening to Joe Pags.
Okay, guys on the phone lines, we are going to be switching up the topic a little bit here, so I'm going to let you run, but keep listening and definitely call back soon.
I'm going to give you guys that poll that I promised at the top of the hour here. So let me give you that. I'm going to go grab a protein bar and a soda. New poll. Who will challenge Trump? All right, I'm going to make this poll 5 minutes, and it is up now. Everybody vote in the poll right now. Let's go. I'll be back. Who will be Trump's main challenger? Let's go. Always a chance to be kinder. I mean, I don't have it set up, but we could always do one. What's up, Fast Eddie? Things are well. Hopefully they're well with you, too. The poll is in the top of the chat. It's about to end, though. Hurry up. It ended.
the Joe Pag Show. To talk to Joe, call 888-941-PAGS. And now, it's Joe Pags.
Well, hello there. Glad to have you. Thanks a lot for taking the time. I appreciate you doing so. Just had a poll over on the website. We'll give you the results about who may take on Donald Trump. Interesting result. And there was no way to really fill in the blank as to who you might think would be the main challenger. But basically, the question was who would be the main challenger for the Republican nomination in 2024 for President of the United States against Donald Trump. And we got some interesting answers. The number one answer was unexpected. I thought they would pick somebody that I put on the list. I guess I just kind of told you what happened, didn't I? I just gave them insight, didn't I, Carrie, into what exactly happened, because I didn't pick one of the people that I put up on the list.
Yeah, exactly.
Who would you have said?
About what?
The main competitor for Donald Trump for the nomination in 24.
You know what? I still don't know. And I don't know if it's going to be DeSantis or not. I don't know yet.
Oh, did I put him on the list? Maybe that's why the poll went that way. I probably didn't put him on the list. Let me see.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm an idiot. I left him off. Well, I'll tell you what I'll do then. What I'll do is I will just start the poll again. Because a lot of people want to take part anyway. They're like, oh, I just refreshed and I couldn't do it.
There you go.
All right, so what I'll do is I will remind people that it, of course, is Wednesday. And I'll take this time to do the poll. If I put Ron DeSantis on here, this might change things. Not even going to break it down. I'm just writing the poll. Carrie, do a little chair dance for him. You got it.
No, thank you.
Why
Third
not?
Hour,
Why can't you help out?
Third hour Wednesday.
Wow.
Yep.
All right, we'll do another poll. It's up and running now. You got your choices. Make it happen. Poll's in the house as well. Sam getting her done. Okay, so here are the choices. Who will be Trump's main challenger in 24? Ron DeSantis, which I didn't have on the first poll for some reason.
Okay.
Probably should have added him. Mike Pence, Mike Pompeo, Nikki Haley, and I threw in Tulsi Gabbard just because I could. And it did not leave a space for someone else. So you've got to choose from those five. Now, could it be someone else? Of course. So make sure you stop by joepags.com, click on Watch Now. You'll see the poll at the top of the chat, and just click on it, and you can make your choice. Now, out of those, you would not choose one.
No, I don't think I would.
Somebody in the chat, Jennifer in the chat, just asked why you hate the people.
I don't hate the people.
Why can't you do it for the people? All right,
I told you.
I guess you wanted the chair dance. I don't know.
Oh,
All right, 888-941-PAGS. I'm not going to do Trump this hour. We did that all of last hour. If you missed any of it, go back and check it out on the website. Go back and check it out on the chat. Go back and check it out on your radio station website. And make sure you listen, because we spent the entire hour talking about the announcement last night from Mar-a-Lago. Somebody said Mitt Romney. No, Mitt Romney's not going to run against Trump in 24. And if he did, it'd be embarrassing. I'll be honest with you. I looked it up, and I guess O'Day and Trump have been going back and forth at each other in Colorado. And I think Trump said that his voters would not be stupid enough to vote for O'Day. So that probably would set you off, I think.
You think?
That probably would not sit well.
Yeah.
But then again, this guy, Michael Bennett's he's no winner, so I'm not really sure. All right, at the end of the day, I'm not sure who's going to try to challenge him now that he's thrown his hat in the ring. I mean, I think the front runner would be DeSantis. Should he run? Nobody else has said they're going to run. DeSantis hasn't even hinted at it, although there was some inside baseball that there could be a presidential exploratory committee being put together. Mike Pence has hinted to it. Mike Pompeo, many have said, has hinted to it. So we'll see. You guys go and vote in the poll right now. Got about 2.5, 3 minutes left in the poll, and I don't know. It's not as much of a runaway as you might think it is. So again, the options I give are Ron DeSantis, Mike Pence, Mike Pompeo, Nikki Haley, or Tulsi Gabbard. I did not leave someone else because someone else did very, very well last time, but somebody forgot to put DeSantis in there. Lots of news about the border. What's that? Would you say you wanted to make the next poll? I couldn't hear you.
No, never mind.
You said you were to step up for the people and do more than just sit there and read the news? I couldn't hear you.
That's what I do. It's my role on the show.
You were clearing your throat. That's what that was? Okay.
Yeah,
let's get into the border a little bit because we know that the border is broken. We know that over 100,000 Americans die every year from fentanyl poisoning. We know that's coming across the border. We know it's coming from China into Mexico across our border. We know that MS-13 is found. Cartel members are found. People are dying and being raped on the way here across the border. And there doesn't appear to be anything that the left wants to do to fix it. In fact, when asked about it yesterday, Mayorkas said the border is secure. Carrie, he said the border is secure.
I know he did, yes.
You're the news lady. Is the border secure?
As a news lady, I would say it is not.
Of course not. Because in the news every day, we've got thousands more coming across the border.
Yes.
5 million have come across that we know about, not including the gotaways. Just call them gotaways. They're not gotaways. They're illegal aliens that ran away and they were never gotten to begin with. I mean, somebody got away, it means that I have them, and then they got away. We didn't even have them. They just sneaked across, and nobody saw them, and nobody stopped them. So I've been asking this question forever. Why do they want the open borders? Well, Chuck Schumer said one of the dumbest things I've heard yet when it comes to why they want more illegals to get citizenship and to pass the citizenship. We'll have that in a second. But Title 42 was the Carter-era provision that was reinstated by the Trump administration through HHS. It wasn't just him saying it, or the CDC. They put it back in place because of the global pandemic, which is COVID-19. That was to stop anybody from coming across the border because we didn't know their health status. We didn't want them to make us sick here. Well, Title 42 has been in the courts for a while. It was reinstituted. It was taken down. It was put back in place. Well, there's another happening in this court battle that should not even exist. It's just to keep Americans safe, Title 42. And Carrie, you've got that for us.
Yep. From the delays, a federal judge struck down implementation of the Title 42 policy instituted in the Trump administration, and Border Patrol agents reportedly said they expect a massive surge of new migrants at the border. Title 42 is also called the Remain in Mexico policy because the emergency pandemic measure forced migrants seeking asylum to wait for their paperwork to be processed from across the border in Mexico. Prior to the ruling, they would be allowed to enter the U.S. and await a ruling from officials on whether their asylum claims were valid. On Tuesday, District Judge Emmett Sullivan in Washington, D.C. wrote that the Title 42 order is arbitrary and capricious in violation of the Administrative Procedure Act. Critics of the policy have called it inhumane and contrary to global humanitarian agreements the U.S. has made in the past. Sullivan scolded the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention for not allowing for alternative methods of avoiding the spread of the coronavirus pandemic and the rationale behind the Title 42 policy. With regard to whether defendants could have ramped up vaccinations, outdoor processing, and all other available public health measures, the court finds the CDC failed to articulate a satisfactory explanation for why such measures were not feasible, Sullivan wrote. Democrats predictably praised the order despite the negative effects it's likely to have on border security.
There you go. Woo! Everybody just gets to come. By the way, Title 42 did not break any international agreement, didn't break any sort of policy. In fact, those coming here seeking asylum aren't starting in Mexico. Because, by the way, you have no asylum claim from Mexico. It's allegedly a democracy or a free country. Yeah, there's a lot of corruption, but it's not Venezuela. It's not Cuba. It's not North Korea nor China. It's not Russia. Mexico is a free country. So those who are seeking refuge, those who are seeking asylum, who are in Mexico, need to seek refuge and asylum from Mexico. Let's say that again. Mexico is a free country. Mexico is a country that doesn't have religious persecution, doesn't have communism, it doesn't have you're locked up if you dare speak out against the country. Mexico is a free country. The 5 million that have come here through Mexico should have sought asylum in Mexico and stayed there. There is no international law that says we have to accept asylum seekers from 4 countries away. You're to seek asylum in the first country that is free and offers you a way out of the persecution or prosecution you're running from. That would be Mexico. 888-941-PAGS, joepags.com. Let me just give you the Chuck Schumer soundbite, because this is going to make you angry. I'm not doing this to make you angry, but it should make you mad.
Now more than ever, we're short of workers. We have a population that is not reproducing it on its own with the same level that it used to. The only way we're going to have a great future in America is if we welcome and embrace immigrants, the dreamers, and all of them, because our ultimate goal is to help the dreamers, but get a path to citizenship for all 11 million or however many undocumented there are here.
This guy is an anti-America piece of garbage. Now, Chuck Schumer just said that, because he's calling them immigrants, and they're not. They're illegal aliens. They're not an immigrant. You could take part, you could work. He's talking about illegal aliens, the 11 million, whatever the number is, undocumented that are here. Okay? Chuck Schumer just said, because of a low birth rate, that's why we have to accept those who came here illegally, because we don't have enough workers. Well, Chuck, of the tens of millions of babies that were aborted since 1973, how many of them would be in the workforce today, do you think, if it weren't for people like you? So let's kill as many unborn babies as we can that are American babies, and let's bring in all the illegal aliens that want to come, because we need them to go and do jobs. Chuck Schumer can pucker up, pick a cheek, and kiss my ass. 888-941-PAGS, 888-941-7247, joepags.com. Coming right back.
This is the Joe Pags Show.
All right, people, the poll results are 65% for Ron DeSantis, 24% for Mike Pence, 5% Nikki Haley, Tulsi Gabbard 4%, and Mike Pompeo 2%. I'll read that on the air as well. I got my potty mouth from my mother, by the way. My mother, Mama Pags, who's in the chat room right now. Diane, I appreciate the 24 months, the 2 full years. Thanks for the resub. I appreciate you. For those who count these sorts of things, the subs are now $21.65. $21.65. We appreciate that. We got a hype train. Let's go. Sebastian, the 100 bits. Bridge with the 100 bits. Thank you. Eagleman, the 200. Mom Ham with the 200. Let's go. Best Eddie the 100. Sassy Cat G, baby, my daughter Gabby. Make sure you go and follow her and watch her great streams. The Gifted Sub. Thank you, Gabby. Appreciate you. Mr. Underhill, the 2,000 bits. Good to see you, Mr. Underhill. Thank you. Big Sarge, the 300 bits. Thank you. Just subscribe to Twitch, but it keeps inserting commercials during your show. Then they end when you go on break. It keeps happening. I will cancel my new subscription. You didn't subscribe here, Wyoming. Wyoming King, you're not subscribed to my channel. That's why you're seeing commercials. Nope, you are not subscribed. You joined Twitch 28 minutes ago, and you wrote one message. You actually have to subscribe to make the commercials go away. Monica, Sam, Jen, Sassy Cat, somebody explain to Wyoming King what he has to do. Great to have you. Thanks. I appreciate you stopping by. Lots going on, lots to get to. Bottom of the hour, we've got a great interview coming up for you. It'll be Sheriff Mark Lamb, so make sure you stick around. He's got a new book out. He's also from Pinal County, Arizona, so he's got a lot to say about what happened in the primary where there weren't enough Republican ballots in Pinal County, and then in the general that just happened. Why would those tabulators not work? Why did that happen? What's the issue with mail-in balloting? So we talk about a lot of that, plus the value system by which he lives that he wrote about in this book. So make sure you stick around to check that out at the bottom of the hour. Plus, I got your poll results coming up. I asked very simply, who will be Donald Trump's main challenger in 2024? Mike Pence, Nikki Haley, Tulsi Gabbard, Mike Pompeo, or Ron DeSantis? I've got the results of that poll, so make sure you stick around for that as well. There is a lot going on. There's a lot to get to for sure. And I'm really glad that you chose today to come and check out the program. Thank you very, very much for checking in. Got to remind you about Eden Pure has the Thunderstorm air purifier. It's great. It really does make the area where you put it, and just plugs into the wall, doesn't take up a bunch of real estate. It makes the area where you put it smell like a thunderstorm has rolled through. It does. It makes the area smell like you just have that fresh and clean scent after a thunderstorm. And this is great for Christmas gifts. You really got to think about this because everybody's got an odor or two in the house you kind of want to get rid of. This doesn't mask it. This doesn't cover it. This actually gets rid of it. It attacks the odor at its source. It uses proven oxy technology. And right now, with the Christmas special, they're going to save $200 on an Eden Pure Thunderstorm 3-pack. Over 265,000 have been sold. You know that it works very, very well. And again, you can give the gift of clean, fresh air this Christmas. Special offer going on right now, getting 3 units for under $200. Go to EdenPureDeals.com and put in discount code PAGS3. Save $200. That's EdenPureDeals.com. Discount code is PAGS3, P-A-G-S, the number 3. And remember, shipping is always free as well. All right, 888-941-PAGS, 888-941-7247. I want your thoughts on Chuck Schumer, the senator from New York, actually saying we need more illegal aliens and to give them all a path to citizenship because we have a shortage of workers because we're not reproducing the way we used to in America. This is the same guy from the same state that he's cool with partial birth abortion, abortion on demand, get rid of the baby, pushing abortion as if it's health care somehow or reproductive rights. He's complaining about a low birth rate in America, so we need to employ the illegal aliens that are coming here as he promotes the killing of tens of millions of unborn children in America. They think we're stupid. We're not, but they think we are. So your thoughts on that? 888-941-PAGS, 888-941-7247, joepags.com. All right, who will be Trump's main challenger in 24? Ron DeSantis, 65%. Mike Pence, 24%. Nikki Haley, 5%. Tulsi Gabbard, 4%. They all do better than Mike Pompeo. Poor Mike Pompeo. You know what I'm saying, Carrie?
He's pretty low on the poll, is he?
And he's made it kind of clear that he's looking at it. I mean, every indication, he hasn't said he's doing it, but every indication appears to be that he's taking a good long look at it. That's for sure. All right.
Wouldn't
Go ahead.
wouldn't it be interesting if it were Trump and Pence?
I don't think it would be. I mean, Trump versus Pence makes no sense. It doesn't because Pence would have to complain about his own administration because the other day on Hannity, he was calling it the Trump-Pence administration on purpose. So what's he going to do? He's going to run and say, we really didn't get anything done, so put me in?
Yeah, that wouldn't be good. That would not look
Kind of
good,
weird,
would
wouldn't
it? Yeah.
Just putting it out there. Putting it out there because I can.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
And you did, yeah.
In fact, I did, to be honest. 888-941-PAGS, 888-941-7247, joepags.com. It's repugnant and repulsive what the left keeps on doing when it comes to abortion, yet they're not going to stop doing it until people like me call them out. Literally saying we need more babies to be born as he's pushing for fewer babies to be born. You cannot make this stuff up. Tom, what's going on? Hi.
Hi, how you doing? I had the thought on Chuck Schumer. They're two of a kind. So we should pitch Mitch and Chuck Schumer. No recycling, please. Make that in a nice T-shirt. Sell it.
All right, Tom, not bad. Tom has a T-shirt idea. Sam, get on that.
Okay, sure.
We should ditch Mitch and Chuck Schumer. You know, not bad, to be honest. Bobby, Minneapolis, what's going on? Hi.
Hey, how you doing there? Thanks. Hey, my thing is, this is what Democrats have done for a long time: sell us out in a heartbeat and sell America out, as far as I'm concerned, by bringing in what you say are legals and trying to make them legal, even by voting. You know, the whole voting thing. I see more black people starting to wake up and see that they've been played, you know, forever in the same manner, and that's what I see the Dems doing. And you know, they're just I got friends who have been arguing with me for years about my stand. I'm conservative first, you know, the rest American after that. Don't call me black American or none of that stuff. Yeah, I know I'm black, but I'm American first. This is where I was born at. But anyway, you got that piece, whole thing about Chuck selling us not like that. I got guys calling me now saying they're voting Republican for the first time ever. And I'm just, it's crazy, man, the turnaround in that matter. You know, whether it's slow or fast, but it's happening. And these are guys that, I mean, I fought all the time. Even my own brother, who for years he kind of turned over, but
Bobby, I want to ask you a question. Bobby, everybody who's listening wants me to ask you this question. Are you ready?
Come on.
Can you put your mouth on the phone or not?
Yeah, you can't hear me?
Because it sounds like Barbara's my brother. Barbara, I don't know what's going on. I mean, I could pick out what you're saying, but there's something. Is it a speaker? What is that?
It's the handheld, or not handheld. Yeah, just the phone.
Well, Bobby, you sound 100% better now. You fixed whatever the problem was. I heard you. You said that you know people. That you know people that are going to be voting Republican for the first time. You know that people are sick and tired of them lying to us. And I'm with you because if I understood you, you said you're black, right?
Yeah, correct.
40% of the babies that Chuck Schumer has been pushing to be aborted have been black. That makes me sick.
Exactly.
They're literally killing off an entire race and nobody notices.
It's just a convenience nowadays, bro. Nothing else but. And that you said it to the bone. You can't make this stuff up.
I got to run, Bobby. I appreciate you. He did fix the phone. His mouth wasn't on it earlier. Bobby, we love you. Call back often. Keep it here.
Don't be an A-dub. Stay with the Joe Pag Show.
Really, Sam?
I can't tell you how many times I send someone through and they just go, "Oh, let me take it off my face now."
Well, not only that, but just to let you know, I did put the phones on busy. That was me.
Listen, we did it at the
I
exact
don't
same
think so.
time. Yeah, actually we did, and that's why only one line got busy.
Come on. What's going on, people? Very nice hype train. I appreciate that. Hey, the guy who was complaining, Wyoming King. Good news. You won't see the ads anymore because you just got the hookup. I'll explain what that means. Underhill, the 2,000 bits. McSarge with the 300 bits. Mr. Underhill, I'm sorry, dude. What does that say? Sam, what does that say on Underhill?
Can't see it.
I'll help you out. It appears to say 50 gifted subs from Mr. Underhill. Everybody give me an MU in the chat right now. Underhill, that's amazing. Your support is just stunning, dude. I'll be honest with you. 50 gifted subs. That is amazing. Thank you. If you got a gifted sub from Underhill, from anybody else, make sure you say thank you. That is stunning. We're back over 2,200 subs. Give me an MU in the chat right now. That is simply amazing. Thank you, Underhill. I appreciate you. Love it. Rich Hall with the 100 bits. Thank you. Z Carf with the 1,000 bits. Thank you. very much. Scott stepped up and gave Wyoming King a gifted sub. So Wyoming King, you will not see the ads anymore. You're now officially a subscriber. Somebody gifted you a sub. We appreciate that. Miller Time, the 500 bits. We had 53 gifted subs, 4,600 bits. Amazing Hype Train, thank you. Lone Star Mama just did 50 gifted subs too. Come on now. Really? Everybody give me an LS right now in the chat. LS, another 50. That is stunning. I love it. That's bringing more people in to see the program, and they can make a decision for themselves on whether they like it or not. Great, great, great bringing people into the channel. Thank you so much, Lone Star Mama. I can't thank you enough. Scott, the gifted sub too. Also, of course, we've got Mr. Underhill with the 50 gifted. It's amazing. Gabby, the gifted. Thank you. Thank you all. 2,267 subs. It's amazing. Can't tell you how much I appreciate that. I'm going to go tease this interview now. Thank you. Man, that's amazing support. Can't thank you enough. Thank you. Metal Cowboy, the 1,000 bits. Thank you. Subs back up to 2,267. Thank you. Great to have you along for the ride. Thanks a lot for stopping by. Always glad to have this guy back. He's the sheriff of Pinal County, Arizona. It's Mark Lamb. Sheriff, how are you? Good to see you.
I'm doing great, Joe. Thanks for having me back on.
Well,
Always good.
Listen, I appreciate you coming on. Sorry to cut you off a little bit. American Sheriff Rules to Live By is the new book. This is up on Amazon. I'm looking at it right now up on Amazon, and we go to the people that are watching. This is awesome because I do want to know what the right rules are to live by. Not that I don't know, but getting it from somebody who's an authority, who does the job as well as you do, somebody who's not afraid to talk about his values, not afraid to talk about how much you love the country. I think this is needed right now. Is that the impetus for writing it? Because right now in this country, some people are confused. Which way are we going?
It absolutely is. It's based on the poem by Rudyard Kipling, If. If you haven't ever read that poem, it's an amazing poem. Rudyard Kipling's an amazing poet. But this poem, If, I based this book off of that. And each stanza of the poem I articulate with stories from the founding fathers, stories of hope and courage and determination. And look, I'm not going to sit and tell you this is an easy set of rules to live by. Somebody read it and said, well, that wasn't very easy. I'm like, well, it's not easy. Life's not easy. But these are rules that are very common sense, basically like saying if you can see the words you've spoken twisted by knaves to set a trap for fools, or if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two imposters just the same. And I try to articulate and tell stories that really showcase just how you can apply that that rule of life in your own life.
And I think that's so important right now. I'm going to show the actual book on Amazon right now for people who are watching. It's called American Sheriff Rules to Live By, and it's by Sheriff Mark Lamb. You know, what's interesting is that poem does make a lot of sense today. You've got a ruling class, and some would say, well, he's elected in the ruling class, but you're not. You don't act like that. The ruling class doesn't want us to try, doesn't want us to have a value system other than look to us for food, for shelter, for money, for guidance. We're your higher power in government. That's what they want us to believe, and that's not what human beings thrive through, is it?
No, and they want to endear to you only during election seasons.
Yes.
Other than that, they just want you to keep your mouth shut and get in line and do what they tell you to do because they think they know what's best for you. And they actually really treat us like we're a bunch of idiots, a bunch of fools. And I think that more and more Americans are starting to see that, albeit I don't think the results of this last election really showcase that, but hopefully people will take away some very common sense approaches to life. And it really, the way the poem is structured, it's not leading you to believe that life's going to be easy. It's basically life is not going to be easy, but here's how you can deal with it. And we have stories, amazing stories of founding fathers who have lived through this and much worse, and they've survived it, and they were courageous. And so hopefully people will see that. You can get it also at americansheriff.store, americansheriff.store.
Right.
And then my website, she just dropped a book. You can get it at sheriffswife.com.
Yeah, I saw that right before we started. I saw that she wrote a book too. We should have her on at some point to talk about that. It's yeah, it would be wonderful. It's Sheriff Mark Lamb, Pinal County, Arizona. You mentioned elections, and a lot of people are confused about what just happened. But I want to rewind to the primary. Did you ever find out why in your county the Republicans didn't have enough votes, or they didn't have enough paper, ballots to even fill out? Do we know why that happened? Was that just a simple human error mistake, or could there have been some sort of, I don't know, belligerence going on?
We wanted to make sure that we knew exactly why that happened. We wanted to make sure there was no nefarious reason. So we did an independent study into it, an investigation into it. Not myself at the sheriff's office, neither the county attorney. We hired a company to come in and do it.
Good.
And you know what? In the end, it was just incompetence. It was somebody not prepared, not focused enough on his job, and just totally missed the mark and made us look bad. But we got it fixed for the general election, and we had a smooth general election here in our county.
Yeah,
which
but Mark,
was good.
it's not like people didn't know when the primary was going to happen. How could incompetence play a role in something so important? It's my duty. It's my responsibility. And had I gone that day, I might not have found a ballot. And then when we fast forward to last Tuesday, or a week ago Tuesday, the election, the midterm election, all of a sudden 20% of the tabulators aren't working in Maricopa County. Now, I don't understand how that could happen when everybody on this planet knew since November 4th of 2020 when the next election was going to be. How does that happen?
I don't know. That was exactly what I asked the county attorney and other people involved. They said, how does this happen when you only have elections every 2 years and you have plenty of time leading up to it to ensure that all your equipment is working?
Yeah.
And the type of things that make it look nefarious. And this is what opens that door for people thinking or losing trust in the government. And look, I do this job for a living in law enforcement. I understand how bad people can be. And I'm not excluding the fact that there might be some shenanigans going on. But let's try to do the best we can as government to ensure that we're going to do the best election we can. And clearly that didn't happen in my county in the primary with the lack of ballots. And it certainly didn't happen in the county next door with the issue with the tabulators. And now we have more distrust than what we did before.
Let me see that book again, if you don't mind, Mark. It's American Sheriff Rules Live By. Go and get this right now. You can go to americansheriff.store or go to Amazon, grab it on there. It's going to be a great and I'm with you. Life should not be easy if it's rewarding. It's not very rewarding when it's easy. When government has control of you in every aspect of your life, you might think it's easy, but you're not succeeding, and you're not being rewarded for what it is that I believe and you believe that God gave us here as human beings. So just back to the incompetence thing for a second. It's not okay to be incompetent. If you're incompetent or your deputies are, you might die. If I'm incompetent, I can't feed my family. But they're incompetent, and they still have government jobs. There was one day. Those tabulators didn't have to work except for one day. And for one day, 1/5 of the voters in Arizona, and some of them might have left out of despair. I can't wait here anymore, and I'm going to leave. In Houston, Texas, they didn't open some of the polling places for 4 hours. And when you ask the county judge why they didn't happen, they said, well, these are human beings and they have lives, and some of them slept in. Mark, that's not okay. Can we, through reading this book, through watching how you do your job, through watching people who really have succeeded in life, can we learn that that isn't acceptable? Because it's starting to make me feel like we're accepting incompetence.
Well, a lot of it comes down to personal accountability.
Yeah.
And we are accepting incompetence. We've bred incompetence in government. We're hiring people that shouldn't be there in a lot of these positions. You know, a lot of it is for quotas or different things. And we end up not getting the most competent people, and the pay's not the best either. So you're not always getting the best people either. So there's a lot of issues going on with government. I don't know if my book's going to fix that, but I think my book certainly teaches you, gives you an idea of the attitude you should take towards this. You know, that things will work themselves out, but you can't just sit on the sidelines either. You got to get out there and do the work and fight and be active. And we're seeing more Americans getting active because they too see the incompetence, Joe. And you're right. It's unacceptable that we're allowing this to occur in government. We should have the best and the brightest in those positions, ensuring that this country is being protected by people who are very qualified and competent.
You know, I love Arizona. My wife lived in Tucson for a while growing up. I've been out to Tempe. I mean, I just think it's a great state. I've been to Tucson as well for a wedding in between. I just really like it there. And I always felt like it was a state where you had a bunch of patriots like you. What does the future look like under a Governor Katie Hobbs? Are you concerned as a resident and as a sheriff that maybe law enforcement won't mean as much? You've got somebody who's a radical lefty. Or if the AG's race doesn't go the right way. What does Arizona look like in the near future?
Well, let me talk the AG's race first, because I think the most important race in the state for me as a law enforcement guy, I think to be able to protect the rule of law, which is clearly under attack in this country, I think you got to have a good AG in there. That AG's race has come down to 700 votes. So when you talk about those and that incompetence, you can clearly articulate in a court case. You could easily make a case saying, my voters were disenfranchised. There were predominantly Republican voters showing up to vote on the day of the election, only to find out the tabulators weren't working. You can make a case that it affected you by far more than 700 votes. As far as the governor, look, I'm going to reserve the opportunity. You know, I hope she proves me wrong. I'm concerned about some of the stances she's taken in the past, especially as it relates to law enforcement, border security. But I'm here to be a good partner. I don't want to see her fail, nor do I want to see Arizona fail.
Right.
Certainly, we have a very difference of opinions and a lot of political ideologies. But I think in the end, what I is that she wants to do what's right for the people of Arizona, and I have to give her the opportunity to do that. She, you know, at this point, it looks like she's won the election, so that's what we've got to do.
American Sheriff Rules to Live By. This is the book by Sheriff Mark Lamb, who we have on right now. I'll say this. I'm not going to ask you that, but I'm going to say this so that watching this interview understands. My position is that Katie Hobbs, who we know was found by a court of law to be a racist, Katie Hobbs, who didn't have a nice thing to say about the Latino community when asked on Univision, Katie Hobbs, who refused to debate, Katie Hobbs, who was going to certify her own election as the Secretary of State, something that Brian Kemp wasn't allowed to do in Georgia. He resigned as Secretary of State because Eric Holder and Barack Obama said it would be unfair. I think that election stinks, and I hope there's a remedy so we can go through and actually find out who voted for what. But now back to what you just said. I'm not going to ask you about what I just gave my opinion. But what you just said about those tabulators that day is so vital. As a law enforcement officer and as somebody who has great knowledge of the law, is there a remedy for voters who might say, listen, I can bet you more than 700 people left and went to work that day and didn't wait for you to fix the tabulators? Is there a remedy for them? In Arizona, can you say, let's just do the whole AG's election again? I mean, what is the remedy other than a recount that's automatic by 0.1%?
Well, I think the recount is going to happen because it's within that margin.
Yeah.
As far as the remedies, there are some precedents. You know, I think Alabama had a court case where there was precedents where they did another election on it. Obviously, that would cater to one side because a majority of Republicans show up on election day to vote. And so there are some remedies there. I think as far as looking into it, there should be an investigation, I think, into whether or not they were purposely disenfranchised knowing that the majority of the Republicans would show up and vote on election day.
Right.
They should be sure that that wasn't the case, and that was not an intentional move or maneuver. And I don't know that it is. I'm not saying I don't have any evidence, but I think anytime you have something like this, you should absolutely look into it to ensure that the people that showed up to vote know that it wasn't nefarious.
Well, those people have to know that their vote counted. And I have people who live in Maricopa County. A very good friend of mine, and her parents live there. She said she went online, and it doesn't show on the mechanism that you have online that they even voted. And they all did that day. So that's very interesting to me. I hope that people will be able to whittle this down. I don't want it to be incompetence nor nefarious, but I would rather incompetence, to be honest with you, and I think you would as well. It's Sheriff Mark Lamb, Pinal County, Arizona. You got a national footprint, Mark. I'm going to go ahead and ask this because I see you well beyond Pinal County. People understand who you are. They understand how serious you are about American values. They understand how serious you are about our sovereignty at the border, and you're fighting that fight every single day. We know how serious. They all know how serious you are about stopping fentanyl that's killing 100,000 Americans and more every year. Is there something beyond being the Pinal County Sheriff that you have in mind?
You know, I've never had any other aspirations, but I am a patriot. I love God, family, and freedom, and I've always said I'll go wherever my voice is loudest for God, family, and freedom. And I've certainly had to leave the door open on some options out there just because I want to do what's best for America. And I think we're just in a really critical point in the history of the country where we're going to need people that are strong enough to stand up and take those chances and put themselves out there. And so I've got to take a look and see what we're going to do. My wife and I've got a lot of thinking and talking to do, but I've learned a lot from this last election. You know, you and I could probably talk more offline. I don't think we have enough time, but
yeah,
you know, there were a lot of things in this election that I think probably could have been done different. I think no question Kerry Lake was the best candidate in this country. Should have walked away with this easy, but we do need to do a good job. We need to, as Republicans, be introspective as well and look and say, okay, did we do something wrong, or where did we go wrong, or what could we have done different? How could we have brought these voters in? So I think there's going to be a lot of that going on as well right now amongst these camps. I hope there is. And hopefully we can come and find our way back to where the voters believe in what this America First ideology and believe in protecting freedom, our children, protecting, you know, babies' lives and also mothers' lives. I mean, we've got a lot of work to do. And I certainly think that we have some room for improvement.
Well, I'll tell you this. I get calls and emails and all sorts of correspondence on social media every day asking, Pags, why should I believe my vote counts? A lot of people, I think you just alluded to this, aren't really sure that their franchise is safe. I think they need people like you to make sure we look at this with a very, very fine-tooth comb and figure out why aren't elections working in places like Arizona. Mark, there's no way you should have had to wait 60 to find out who wins anything. And you still don't know who the AG is going to be. We won't know in Alaska until next week sometime who wins that election. So let me ask you let me throw some offices out. Would you consider being the state governor? Would you go for U.S. representative? Might you go for U.S. Senate? Are those things? Is the door open to that kind of thing for Mark Lamb?
Well, governor's already just occurred, so
Yeah.
that's not 4 years. I am not interested at all in Congress. I don't think that Congress. I'm not interested in running every 2 years. You basically are running on stuff.
Yes.
You know, I think I've probably left the door cracked open a little bit on Senate just because I think there's a difference can be made there, and so that's something we've got to look at. But look, honestly, Joe, right now I just love being sheriff. I'm grateful for this opportunity, and right now my sights are still set on running for sheriff in 2024 and serving the people of Pinal County. But like I said, I gotta take a look and see where my voice can be the loudest for God, family, and freedom.
The name of the book is American Sheriff: Rules to Live By. Go on it right now, AmericanSheriff.store. You can go on Amazon and go get it there as well. Mark, one last question. You deal with the border every day. And by the way, those who are watching, you can see what the book looks like. Go and get it. Every single day, you're dealing with illegal immigrants, illegal aliens coming in, fentanyl coming in, pot coming in. Now we hear the pot is being laced with fentanyl. Now they've changed the fentanyl to be colors that would be attractive to kids. We're killing Americans by not simply closing down the border, at least what Trump did, and you, in accordance with Trump. Now that the House has gone to Republicans, and you're right, they're constantly running for election. I don't think they're going to get anything done. I hope they do. But Republicans have control of the House. Do you have any sort of hope that they'll do something Maybe instead of 87,000 new IRS agents, maybe put them on the border. Maybe actually pick up the phone and call you and say, how can we help with you guys on the border? What do you hope happens with the Republicans at least having control of one house?
I do hope they at least put a stop to the spending and that they could potentially use some of these purse strings, control of the purse strings, which is what Congress has, to be able to put this government on notice that if they're not going to protect the border, they're going to shut the government down.
Yeah.
I think that's a solid idea. I think we've probably got to change the leadership in both the House and Senate, just because clearly the leadership that's been in place hasn't been working. Nothing personal against those guys. I just think that anytime you are failing, you got to start with the leadership first and foremost. There's an opportunity to change out the leadership there, and they absolutely should. And I hope to see the investigations that need to occur.
Yeah.
I think they absolutely look into Hunter Biden. The business dealings involve his father, the president of the United States, with foreign countries.
Yeah.
I think that looked into. I think Mayorkas' feet need to be put to the fire. There's a lot of work to be done, and I hope they do these, and I'm optimistic that they will do that.
Well, Mark, stay in contact. I appreciate you taking the time today. American Sheriff Rules to Live By. Go and get this book right now. It's Sheriff Mark Lamb, Pinal County, Arizona. Mark, thanks a million. I appreciate you.
My pleasure. Thank you, Joe, and I hope you enjoy the book, and happy Thanksgiving to you, brother.
Happy Thanksgiving right back at you. We're back after this. Stay right here.
This is the Joe Pags Show.
One of you liked it. Let's go. One of you liked it. I tell you this, if Mark Lamb runs for an office where I can vote, he's getting my vote. That's for sure. Let me just, again, just take a second to thank Underhill and Lone Star for the 50 each, which is amazing. Got us back up to 2267. And incredible support. Incredible support. Channel doing well because you guys like what we're laying down, and I appreciate that you're supporting us so we keep on doing it. Metal Cowboy Music, the 1,000 bits. Thank you, Metal. Appreciate you. Hopefully things are going well. If you ran for an office where you could vote, would you vote for him? Give me a 1 if you would. I would. great to talk to Pinal County Sheriff Mark Lamb. And I'll tell you this, if he runs for an elected office nationally, I think he'd get a lot of support. He's really great at what he does. Go and get his book, and we'll have him back on again very soon. I just like what the man does and what he stands for, and he loves this country. You really can't ask for much more. 888-941-PAGS, joepags.com. Stay right here.
This is the Joe Pags Show.
So I'm at 41, 42, 43, 44. Are we on? 48?
No, I got 49, 50, 51.
Yeah, we're on.
2. Okay.
And I haven't adjusted it all week, so maybe it's finally doing it right.
Maybe.
Now I've jinxed it.
Probably.
All right, people are going to go grab a soda. If I see a bunch of emotes in this channel, I'll give you some PAGS parodies when we come back. Cracks with the 1,000 bits. Thank you. Good to see you, Colette. All the old lefties in D.C. went after Trump not once but twice. They rolled the dice. They're annoying like head lice. They had no reason to go, but they were emboldened by Joe. They're scared of Trump. Don't want him to get another go. Swipes think right then. Oh no, Chuck, don't tell me that it's so. Schumer said erection.
Incited the erection.
I don't know what TC is.
Incited the erection.
Nan and Jerry got together to build another impeachment letter. Pointed to 1-6. Their hatred is just so sick. Some Republicans joined on in. These wusses all have thin skin. Then Chuck had a shot to use his very best diction. To the mic he went to say it. Oh no, Chuck, don't tell me that it's so. Schumer said erection.
Incited the erection.
leftist fool won't let them take me down. Now that they make all the rules, it makes America frown. Now I'm telling you real straight, some words are out of hip. You know that it's crazy, they're all a bunch of dope. Better watch your language, cause it's hip to be woke. It's hip to be woke. You can't say him or her no more, because you just don't know. You know they can't be fluid. No, it's not a joke. Tell me I should watch it, but I don't even care. The nuttiness is evident. They can't even cloak. In 2021, my friend, it's hip to be woke. It's hip to be woke. Hip to be woke. What is that you smoke? Have yourself a COVID little Christmas, bundled up in bed. Around town the pandemic level is red. Have yourself a COVID little Christmas. Don't walk out the door. If you do, you would be locked up, I am sure. Remember when off to church we'd go, not so long ago, clear or snow. With this bug we can't give a hug. The government is smug, they blow. Don't try to sing us a Christmas carol. You just might be ill. Better mask up or they'll throw your ass in jail. Let's do some radio.
This is the Joe Pag Show. To talk to Joe, call 888-941-PAGS. And now, it's Joe Pags.
Yes, indeed. Lots to get to, lots to talk about. It'll be U.S. Representative Troy Nails at the bottom of the hour for the great state of Texas. He was at the announcement yesterday at Mar-a-Lago, so we'll get back into some of what former President Trump had to say last night. What he thinks about the House leadership, what he thinks about the Senate leadership, what can be done by the House of Representatives. He's in there, so we'll find out from him exactly what he sees happening in the near future. We've got that for you. Plus, we're going to talk about the fact that there were a couple of, well, first we heard 2 missiles that were shot into Poland, and the reports I saw yesterday was Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, was saying Russia did it. Poland, of course, is in NATO. That'd be a major problem because we have said in the United States that you attack a NATO country, you're attacking us. And that could mean World War III. The story has changed today. We'll get into that. Plus, are you a hot chick? Karen, try to tease the story you just sent me. Hold on a second. Hold on. Let me see.
Okay.
Are you a hot
Don't
chick?
make it creepy.
How was that creepy? I can't say that. I'm sorry. Are you an attractive female? How is that less creepy? I don't know.
I thought you were gonna do your voice,
Girl.
That's
You a hot
it.
babe, girl.
Yeah, don't do that.
So if you're attractive, allegedly, online education has harmed your grades. So we'll get into that because that's just that might be the dumbest story I've heard today. So we'll get into that. In fact, I've got that and another story. We'll probably just get into them. Okay, so Carrie, if you can.
No.
What?
I triple checked before. We have plenty of time. Plenty of time.
A lot of the radio
we
stations
actually
contact
have
me on this.
extra
They're like,
time.
is there a reason
No.
why we have to have this loser every time on Wednesday?
There is a good reason. He's not a loser. Play it.
I will not until you say the word.
It's Wednesday.
Whatever. Just a kiss up to the chocolate boys.
Yep, that's it. No,
What?
no,
What's that?
no, sir. No, sir. When he says, "Take my hand, we'll make it, I swear," you really believe him? You really believe him?
Take my old hand.
No,
What's that?
he did not say old.
I think he said that. I think he did.
not say old.
All right, so we've got a lot to get to. Now, there is one piece of video, because a lot of you guys like tuning in, gals, like to tune in to see some of these videos. Now, I'm going to describe them on the radio. For those who are watching the live video stream, you can't hear what I'm saying to the radio audience as the video is on, so you'll just see the video for what it is. But I got two pieces of video, two to choose from. And Carrie, I'm going to let you decide because it's Stupid Wednesday. Either I can show the video of Justin Trudeau basically being told off by China's President Xi because something they talked about was leaked to the media, and Xi is very unhappy. And Trudeau's like, well, we believe in freedom, and we're going to do this and that. And she just smiles at him and just basically says, you better not do it again, Sparky. And the reason why the video is so good, because I basically told the story, was how Trudeau walks away. Did you see him walk away?
I did not see him walk away.
It looks like he may have soiled himself.
Ew.
Or
a little scary.
Or he's letting him fly as he walks away. I'm not sure what's going on.
Oh, I don't think he would be doing
Carrie,
that.
I'm telling you, people might want to see that. Or we've got AOC just saying stupid things.
Oh, the choice.
Now I'm going to do that after the first break. So if you want to see it, joepags.com, click on Watch Now. joepags.com, click on Watch Now. And that's only when you're watching or listening live between 6 and 9 p.m. Eastern. Okay. So Justin Trudeau looks like he may have soiled himself. Or AOC just being stupid. But she has a big fat pair of glasses on that I think she thinks makes her look smart.
Oh. I would go with Trudeau.
Okay.
If you had to choose between one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hearing from the chat room that AOC's always stupid. How's that new? Go with Trudeau. All right, so after the first break, I'll show that video. Again, joepags.com, scroll down, click on Watch Now. You'll basically, and it's being translated because she is speaking, obviously, in Chinese, being translated. He's basically saying, I don't like that what we talked about yesterday to the press. And the way Trudeau walks away, I mean, honestly, it's like something might have happened.
Oh, that'd be embarrassing.
I bet, but again, maybe not. Maybe he just, I don't know how the guy walks. Maybe he just walks that way.
I don't know if I've ever seen Trudeau walk.
This if he walks like this, we would have known it by now, I think. So let's quickly go through Zelensky, and then I want to get to the hot chick. I mean, to the attractive women.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Give me. Is this the latest report here?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
From the Blaze, American and European officials now believe the explosion that killed 2 people in Poland near their country's border with Ukraine was very likely caused by Ukrainian air defenses. A Polish President Andrzej Duda stated there is no evidence it was launched by the Russian side. Amid a brutal Russian missile barrage targeting Ukrainian energy infrastructure on Tuesday, an explosion rocked the Polish village of Rzeszów, just 5 miles away from the Ukrainian. All right, you do this one. Przewodów D-O-W.
Oh, Jack Shapido. Absolutely.
Okay.
Nailed it.
There we go.
Go ahead. What do you got?
Just 5 miles away from the Ukrainian border, 2 farm workers were killed. Ukrainian officials accused Moscow of a major escalation. While Polish combat planes were scrambled, Warsaw summoned Russia's ambassador. A Russian attack on Poland would have been sufficient to trigger Article 4 and 5 of the NATO Charter, potentially putting the U.S. into direct conflict with the nuclear power. Duda, President Joe Biden, and the leaders of other allied countries held an emergency meeting on Tuesday to collectively determine their next steps. In the talks, Biden condemned the scores and scores of missile attacks in western Ukraine. Hours later, the Polish president indicated on Twitter the explosion was instead an unfortunate accident caused by a S-300 rocket made in the Soviet Union, an old rocket, and there is no evidence it was launched by the Russian side.
In fact, the evidence that we have now says it was a defense missile by Ukraine that killed 2 people in Poland. So, why then did Volodymyr Zelensky almost say immediately Russia did it? And almost immediately the news cycle was Russia attacked a NATO ally. Are we now going into World War III? And also today, I saw on Getter, I believe, there was an article, there was a piece that said that the White House wants $38 billion more to send to Ukraine. So we should send $38 billion more to a guy who's extremely rich, who's an oligarch, and this guy Zelensky, who just said Russia attacked NATO, therefore attacking us, when he should have known as the president of the country that it was one of his own defense missiles. That's pretty disgusting. And at the end of it, I don't know that he wants war. He just wants more money. And he wants more money from us. That is completely mind-blowing. We need to just stop now. Do I want innocent Ukrainians to be harmed? Absolutely not. Do I want this guy to have control of our money and tell us how much more he wants? Nope. I don't even know that I want this guy to be the guy because he's the one shutting down media. He's the one shutting down any sort of an alternative voice out of Ukraine. Now, this is the same guy that our media in this country tried to pretend that we somehow, all of our wives and girlfriends were falling in love with this guy Zelensky. No. He's some actor who did Dancing with the Stars in Ukraine, who now is walking around in a shirt that's too tight, and he doesn't have a muscle to be seen, and he's acting like Mr. Badass. I don't get any of it, to be honest. But this is egregious. He literally, I think, thought that he would get us to attack Russia. Come on, man. 888-941-PAGS, 888-941-7247, joepags.com. Now, Carrie, before we hit the break, I have to know, why is it that attractive women, this is about women, right?
It is.
Why is it that attractive women are getting worse grades because they're doing remote learning and not in person? Go ahead.
From The Blaze, again, distance may make the heart grow fonder, but it's ruinous for good-looking students' grades. A recent study out of Sweden revealed attractive female university students saw a significant drop in their marks when classes went online during the pandemic. And the findings are the latest in a large body of research that indicates beauty does not just count on Instagram. Attractiveness improves an individual's chances of securing a job offer, getting a promotion, earning more votes in an election, and living a happier life. Prior to the pandemic, attractive male and female students tended to score significantly better grades, particularly in classes where teachers and students interacted more. This beauty premium dropped by about 80% for female students when classes went online. At the time suggested this means professors had previously been discriminating in the female students' favor. And while this discrimination appears to be true of the male professors who made up 11 out of 16 of the instructors, the researcher behind the study noted female professors also gave the attractive females better grades prior to the pandemic.
I gotta tell you, this is so non-scientific. I'll be honest with you, because what if these attractive females just weren't trying as hard at home? Or maybe they weren't getting as good grades. I mean, you literally are grading the work they do, right?
You're supposed to be,
I mean,
yes.
teachers aren't supposed to give opinion on grades. It's like, oh, you got a 95, that's an A. Oh, you got an 82, that's a B. I mean, at what point?
But, are these, some of these male professors going, boy, it's really like a B+, but she's so cute. I think I'm going to give her an A.
Girl.
I hope they're not doing that.
You get an A from me. Like, what are we talking about here? How does that? If you've got 100 questions and you get 5 wrong, it's still 95 out of 100 is right. You don't give them a 97 because she's hot. How does that work?
I don't know. I wouldn't do it, but yeah. That's a story.
I'm going to need you to ugly it up a little bit today, girl, because that grade's going high. What are we talking about? It's just stupid. Isn't it stupid?
Very much so, yes.
Is that why I got not so great grades? Because I'm average? Is that why? They were like, yeah, give him a C. Actually, I didn't get. I got very good grades, and I wasn't being graded on my looks. That's for sure. Yeah, he's got. What is that? You know what I mean?
You got an 87. I mean, no.
Let's make it a 70 because you got a big head. Listen, at the end of the day, I don't know that there's any science at all involved in this. I mean, and I'll be honest with you, I don't know that attractiveness can be considered just in a physical appearance of the person at the moment. Let me explain. I have gotten two very different reactions from the same person, whether I was smiling or not smiling. You know what I mean? So somebody is considered more attractive just if he or she is smiling. Yeah. So don't just tell me it's the attractiveness. They probably should have said flirtier women got better grades, or those who smiled more. Those who smiled more got better grades. Because again, beauty's in the eye of the beholder is true. Although I think we can all agree that let's pick out somebody. Marilyn Monroe is a very attractive person. Having said that, I don't know that I ever saw her not smile. And I think that if you walk in with a sourpuss and your mug is always down, I think that also affects how somebody considers you in their presence. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I would agree with that, actually. Yeah, it does.
But
so everybody smile.
Can you imagine though, honestly, can you imagine just let's say this is true. The teacher's like, yeah, but damn, she's hot. I better give it. I don't get it.
Terrible.
Do you think that really happened? No. Do you think they consciously were doing it, or is it a subconscious thing?
Like I said, maybe a subconscious thing. If they were doing it at all, I would hope it at least be subconscious and they weren't aware that they were actually doing that, because it's very wrong.
Extremely wrong. But again, I think that just using the word attractive already makes the study invalid, because what you find attractive, I might not. And I think attractiveness also goes along with personality. I find people with a personality. What's that? Bon Jovi is an average guy, but he sings well. So you find him more attractive.
I do. I wouldn't call him average, though.
I knew that was coming. I knew the argument was on the way. 888-941-PAGS, 888-941-7247, joepags.com. Your thoughts about this whole attractive and grades thing. I'll take calls on that. I don't want to, listen, Zelensky did what he did, and whatever his reason was, he was wrong, and thank God we didn't go into a war because of it. But I am going to show that video when we come back as well. Justin Trudeau getting basically chewed out by the president of China, and then he walks very weirdly as he walks away. Keep it here. Coming back.
This is the Joe Pags Show.
Clear.
What's going on, people? Good to see you. I will show that walk when we come back. For sure, we will show Justin Trudeau walking in a very strange manner. I'm not sure what he's doing. He may have lost control of his body. I don't know. Although, he could just be airing it out. I'm not really sure. The word rhino in politics is R-I-N-O. R-I-N-O. It's an acronym for Republican in name only. A rhino is an animal. Just putting it out there. Cracks to 1,000 bits. Thank you, Colette. I think I thanked you, but thank you again. You pull another news story, says she supports her father's re-election campaign, just doesn't expect to be in politics. I think TMZ does that crap.
Maybe. I do think, though, that she really did feel that way. I don't think saying it right after is like the best thing to do either way.
I don't disagree, but somebody might have asked her on the street. Who knows? I don't know.
Well, didn't she release that statement? Isn't that what it was?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I thought it was that she had like tweeted it out or whatever it is that she uses.
Truthed it out? I don't know. If you're here to see that Justin Trudeau video, I've not shown it yet, and I will after the break. Justin Trudeau after the break. And again, I will be narrating it for those on the radio. You won't be able to hear me on the stream. You'll be able to hear the actual audio coming from the video. Glad to have you, the Joe Pag Show. Troy Nails coming up. He is a District 22 Republican, great state of Texas. Talk about Trump's announcement. He was there at Mar-a-Lago yesterday. Plus, we'll talk about politics going forward. The House of Representatives in the hands of the Republicans and the Senate in the hands of the Democrats. What does that mean? Can they stop anything? Can they do anything? We'll talk to them about all that. Meantime, I'm going to remind you about Eden Pure and the air purifier that you need. And it's on special just in time for Christmas. I hope that you're going to go out and get yourself one of these. Or three of these, actually. They've got a great deal right now. Save $200 on a 3-pack of the Eden Pure Thunderstorm air purifier. Oxy technology makes it right. It makes it smell like a thunderstorm just passed through. Fresh and clean air is what it leaves, and it doesn't mask whatever's going on in your house or your apartment, whatever. What it does is it attacks the odor and gets rid of it, and also no filters to buy. You don't have to replace the filter, so you save a bunch of money on the Eden Pure Thunderstorm. And again, Oxy technology has been proven to do exactly what they say it'll do. What you can do right now for this Christmas special, get yourself 3 of these units. Over 265,000 have been sold. You know that it works very, very well. Get 3 of them for under $200. In fact, you're going to save $200 when you buy them just by using my code. So go to the website. I get emails on this every day. The website is EdenPureDeals.com, EdenPureDeals.com, and then put in promo code PAGS3. EdenPureDeals.com, promo code PAGS, the number 3. You go there right now, get that done. And remember, shipping is also free. Get yourself some of these units right now. They also make great gifts. All right, Carrie, are we ready for this video of Justin Trudeau?
Yes, I am watching.
Okay. Now, again, those of you on the radio, you'll hear me narrate it because obviously you need what's going on. Those of you watching in the stream, you will see it, but you won't hear what I'm saying. Here he is. He's actually standing there talking with the president of China, President Xi.
Everything we discussed is then leaked to the paper. That's not appropriate. And that's not how the way the conversation was conducted. If there is sincerity on your part,
free and open and frank dialogue, and that is what we will continue to have. We will continue to look to work constructively together, but there will be things we will disagree on, and we will have to continue.
Let's create the conditions first.
Carrie, you have any idea why he's walking like that?
I don't. I can't figure that out. I've never seen that before.
I mean, I don't know what that was.
He was scared?
I mean, Trudeau
Maybe
was
that
like
was
3 or
his
4 inches taller than the guy.
walk.
And she's smiling the whole
Yeah.
time. He's saying that wasn't appropriate. That's not what we dealt with. It's not what we wanted to do. When he's walking away, I'm going to try to just go to that part and just show the people who are watching again, if I can do that, and I should be able to. But just his walking away, that whole pause it there, just sort of fast forward to him walking away. They shake hands. She walks away and just smiles at the camera. And Trudeau's like he can't walk right. There's something, I don't know what's going on with him. It was so weird. So either, look, to me, he's not sure what just happened in his pants. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it could be a possibility the way he's walking, like what's going on down there.
Or he was pounding one on the way out. I don't know. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
I think he was scared to death of the guy. She is smiling, looking at him, saying, listen, it's not the game we're playing here. Not the game we're playing here. Beth, I've got 15 seconds, but it's all yours. Let's go.
Hey, Joe. I have stories about being at university. I was in some sort of electronics class. There was only a couple of girls, mostly males. And all I remember is there was an oscilloscope involved. We wrote papers or something, took a test, whatever. I got my grade back, and it was a pretty good grade. And another girl in class, maybe not as attractive as I was, looked at it and said, hey, I gave the same answers. You got a better grade than I do. I think it was just because you're cute.
How dare you, Beth? How dare you be attractive and get good grades? Knock it off. Hey, we got to do a break here. Troy Nails, when we come back. Stay here.
Joe Pags.
What do you think, Chad? Do you think he soiled himself? You guys want to see that again now that everybody's in here? If you want to see that video again, give me shush, Life and Lake Life. I'm already ahead of you. So, what do you guys think happened? You think he soiled himself? I'm gonna play it again. Again, you can't hear me, but it looked like he soiled himself, or he farted twice. He lifts his leg like twice on the way out as he's trying to walk.
Now.
Everything we discuss is then leaked to the paper. That's not appropriate. And that's not how the way the conversation was conducted. If there is sincerity on your part,
free and open and frank dialogue, and that is what we will continue to have. We will continue to look to work constructively together, but there will be things we will disagree on, and we will have to.
Let's create the conditions first.
What is that walk? What is that walk at the end? Fill me in. What do you guys think that is? It looks like there's something wrong in his pants. You want it one more time? Give me one. Want it one more time? Give me one. I'll play it again. I think he at least farts twice. There's something going on there.
Everything we discuss is then leaked to the paper. That's not appropriate. And that's not how the way the conversation was conducted. If there is sincerity on your part,
free and open and frank dialogue, and that is what we will continue.
continue to have. We will continue to look to work constructively together, but there will be things we will disagree on, and we will have to continue.
Let's create the conditions first.
I'm betting you went right to the bathroom from there. What do you guys think? Oh, he definitely went off to cry. But he either had a couple of air biscuits or worse, maybe something worse sneaked out. I don't know. Wayne, you can run that on your show tonight, and I think that would be very beneficial. Let's do some radio. I showed the video like 7 times. If you guys are just coming in for the video, you missed it, but stay here for Troy Nels. Great to have you along for the ride. Thanks a lot for stopping by. Glad to have this guy back. He's a friend. He's a former sheriff. He's District 22 Republican, the great state of Texas. It's Troy Nels. Troy, how are you? Good to see you.
Good to be with you, Pags. Always an honor to be on the program.
I had people immediately hit me up yesterday. Nails is here at Mar-a-Lago. So the last time we saw each other was at the Palm Beach mansion of the former president, Mar-a-Lago. It was a great time seeing 2,000 mules and uncovering exactly what probably happened in 2020. Tell me about the atmosphere yesterday. Did you know going in that he was going to definitely announce?
I had a good indication, a good idea that we're not going to bring 500 energized people into this room attending, going to Mar-a-Lago and for nothing. So I was just so excited. He walked in with that beautiful bride of his. He had the family come on in there. And I tell you, when you listen to his speech, Joe, his speech was fantastic. He stayed on point. He talked about what he wanted to do. He wants to save this country. This administration's destroying it. He wants to make America great again. And I just loved it. I enjoyed it. It was electric, is what it was.
For those who don't assume, we're talking about former President Donald J. Trump. What's interesting is, Troy, and I wonder what you think about this. The left is trying to make us think that there's some Trump versus DeSantis thing going on, which I don't really think there is. I mean, a couple of words were said, but so what? I think that DeSantis does a great job in Florida. Trump has done a great job for this country. Without Trump, DeSantis probably doesn't win in 2018. So there can't really be some rift, but they want there to be one. Is that what you see happening? They're going to try to pit everybody now against Trump since he's announced?
I do. I think Trump is the leader of our party. And when you look at Trump's policies, the 4 years he was president, this country was on cruise control. We didn't see the crises that we have right now in our country, even globally, under Trump. Trump had everything in check. We weren't, obviously, Putin didn't go into the Ukraine under Trump. So, no, I think the ones that are trying to cause this rift between he and DeSantis are the establishment hacks and those that don't want Trump back. They're the never Trumpers. So they're out there supporting DeSantis, trying to get him juiced up to run against Donald Trump because they just don't like him. They never liked him. And Trump has always fought the establishment. Yeah. So I think it's individuals like that that want him gone. And even what's funny, Joe, is the far left. They're beating up on Trump. Listen, if you want a free and fair election, you clobbered him by 7 million votes, 70 electors. That's a Texas ass whooping. Why wouldn't you want him to come back? They're afraid of him, buddy.
Well,
They're
you know,
afraid of him.
it's funny because I'm hearing two different sides of that story. I want to get into it in earnest in a second. The name of the book, by the way, is It's the Big Fraud, right?
Yes, sir. The big
Boom.
fraud.
I'm going to
Big
show that
fraud.
full screen. The Big Fraud, get it on Amazon. It's Representative Troy Nails. And in this, you talk about 2020 and you talk about January 6th as well, right?
That's right, because what you're hearing, the January 6th, it's 10 chapters. President Trump endorsed the book. He said it's a must-read for all Americans, promotes it on Truth Social. Went to #1 on Amazon in elections a couple weeks ago, so
Nice.
It's doing very, very well. But because it exposes truth. It's all about the truth about January 6th, because this sham committee under Benny Thompson, Liz Cheney, bye-bye, you're gone, we'll see you, you're out of here. And the Democrats are just trying to blame Donald Trump for everything. The book obviously lays it out there. It wasn't Donald Trump. It's not his fault. The intelligence was there. The leadership of the Capitol Police failed to secure our nation's capital that day because they sat on the intelligence.
Well, and the thing is, when you ask anybody in the DOJ, how many FBI agents were there that day? They won't answer. Hey, where's Ray Epps? Can we talk to Ray Epps? They won't answer that. So there's something very awry with January 6th. And if you step back from it, Troy, if we go 10,000 feet in the air and I ask a simple question, who benefited from January 6th? And the answer is Joe Biden. It wasn't Donald Trump, because January 6th was going to be a constitutional challenge of some electors by the House and by the Senate. That's allowed by the Constitution. You absolutely can challenge an election or some electors, and all of that stopped because of the riot at January 6th. So I can't wait to read your book. I want to see what your insight is on this. But at the end of the day, Biden benefited. Trump didn't get anything out of January 6th.
That's right. But the left, they just want to blame Donald Trump for everything. Joe, I was one of the 5 that Leader McCarthy asked to be on that select committee. He asked me to be on the select committee. Leader McCarthy asked me to produce a document for him examining all the testimony that was done in the Senate hearings related to January 6th. I provided him 14 pages. I know a little bit about what I'm talking about. I'm an old lawman, a sheriff of 8 years in Fort Bend County, Texas, a big organization. So I've analyzed this up and down, every which angle, every which way. And what I discovered is that the leadership of the Capitol Police knew the Capitol itself was the target. They knew there was going to be a high propensity for violence. They knew there were extremist groups on both sides there, white supremacist groups, and they did nothing with it. They did nothing with it. The 1,840 members of the Capitol Police, they weren't prepared to deal with that day because nobody from the intelligence section shared with them that, hey, the Capitol's the target, we're going to have a problem.
Right.
And when you look at when these people converged, up Constitution, Independence, went up there at the reflection pond, what was keeping them away? What was the barricade? It was a bicycle rack, Joe.
Yeah.
It was a bicycle rack that couldn't keep your cat in your yard.
Yeah.
How did you think it would keep thousands of people from entering our nation's capital?
And we know from Kash Patel, the former chief of staff of the DOD, that then President Donald Trump, 2 days before, on the 4th, offered up 10 to 20,000 National Guard troops to not only Nancy Pelosi and the Capitol Police, who rejected it, but also to Muriel Bowser, the mayor of D.C., and the D.C. police, and they also rejected it. And by the way, there's proof. There's a paper trail. He was in the Oval Office when this was decided, and they turned it down. Now, you can't just send the National Guard in unless it's requested, and they turned down the offer. I mean, that tells you something as well. Do you think we'll ever find out the truth about what really happened that day?
I hope so, and I hope we have committee hearings on it when we take the majority over, because now we are the majority on January 3rd, and it fall up underneath the government oversight reform and judiciary. But
Yeah.
I talked to General Walker. General Walker was the commanding general of the National Guard on January 6th. Now he's the House Sergeant at Arms. We've had opportunities to have conversation. And I said the January 3rd assessment by the Capitol Police, I have a copy of it. There's a paragraph in there, what I stated earlier, about the Capitol itself was the target,
Yes.
propensity for violence. They knew it was going to get horrible up here. Tens of thousands of people are going to be here. There's a paragraph in it. I said, General, an entry-level law enforcement officer would have said, we got a problem, folks. You would have had the National Guard here on January 4th. And the general said, he said to me, if the National Guard, if his troops would have been on our nation's capital on January 4th, like they should have had with the intelligence they had, January 6th would have never happened.
Yep.
January 6th, folks, should have never happened. It was a leadership failure, a law enforcement failure on the Capitol Police, and Nancy Pelosi has something to do with it.
It's U.S. Representative Troy Nails, District 22 Republican, great state of Texas. Get his book called The Big Fraud. There it is, right there. Go and grab that on Amazon. It's doing great in the elections category. Let me bring up a full screen, Troy. I don't know that you've seen this. I tweeted this last night. I'm not sure if you saw it, but NPR reacted to former President Donald Trump announcing that he'll run again in 2024 this way. Breaking. Donald Trump, who tried to overthrow the results of the 2020 presidential election and inspired a deadly riot at the Capitol in a desperate attempt to keep himself in power, has filed to run for president again in 2024. Troy, your reaction?
No funding. There should be no taxpayer money, no federal funding going to NPR. Shame on them, but this is just another dishonest media news outlet. This is what they all are. Why is NPR so afraid of Donald Trump? My goodness gracious, folks. The Democrats clobbered him, right? They want a free and fair election. There was no fraud in the election. It wasn't rigged. You won by 7 million votes and 70 electors. Why wouldn't you want Donald Trump to come back? Because NPR, the people know the 2020 election was rigged, Joe. It was.
I love how you just said. I love how you just said that. Think about this. This is a minute after he made the announcement that they posted this. Actually, 8 minutes. It's 9:08 p.m. Eastern time. 8 minutes after he made the announcement, and actually he made the announcement that he's actually going to run about 2 minutes in. So 6 minutes later, they had this ready to go because they're scared to death of the guy. And here's the interesting part. People on our side, Troy, literally are saying that Trump shouldn't run again. They say that the left wants him to run because he's so easily beatable. You see the reaction immediately from NBC, ABC, CBS, MSNBC, CNBC, NPR, and these other idiots. They're scared to death of him, and they should be, shouldn't they?
That's right, because he got 74 million votes, and he's going to get more than 74 million. And that's what it's really going to take to win the election, because there should not be any more national declaration, emergency declaration for COVID, right?
Right.
So you can't make ballot by mail, universal ballot by mail, which pretty much was it was in 2020. So no, they don't want Donald Trump to come back. He's the leader of the Republican Party. They are afraid of him. They know the election was rigged in 2020. They don't want him coming back. He's the leader of our party. I couldn't be more excited for him. I'm all in. I sat on my horse. Donald Trump 2024.
I'm with you. It's Representative Troy Nehls, District 22, Republican, the great state of Texas. I've got to ask you about the entire setup of the Congress now. I think we should have gotten the Senate. It should have been 53 or 54 Republicans. I think there are shenanigans in Arizona. I'm not really sure what happened yet. Hopefully we'll find out. There's going to be a recount in a couple of races there. But the fact is, though, Mitch McConnell, who just got voted back in as the Senate Majority Leader, Troy, you know this. This guy didn't spend any money at all on Blake Masters. It was $73 million for Mark Kelly versus not $8 or $9 million for Blake Masters. In Nevada, the same thing happened. In Alaska, Mitch McConnell is dumping money in to help Lisa Murkowski, who's a moderate, lefty-righty Republican, versus Kelly Chewbacca, a Trump Republican. What do you make of Mitch McConnell and the RNC not appearing to do enough to get the Senate?
Interesting. And so he has some competition, right? McConnell didn't like Senator Scott.
Yeah.
And so Scott gets beat. Now I guess he took the leadership positions from him. It's like, you ever challenge me, young man, I'll beat you down and I'll take everything. I'll strip everything away from you. Shame on Mitch McConnell. I think he's a failure. I think they got problems over there. Now in the House of Representatives, obviously we won. We're the majority over there. Mitch McConnell, you didn't do very good over there, buddy. You lost the seat. What are you doing? They need serious, strong leadership over there. Obviously, they don't have it with McConnell, but I guess he just gets to pick and choose his winners and losers. He picks and chooses the people that are going to keep him in power. That's what he does.
Yeah, but Troy, it appeared as though he literally was dumping money in races against the Trump-picked candidate. What is he doing? Is it an R and R and R? Is it a conservative? Why would he want? It almost was like Mitch McConnell didn't want to win the Senate to prove a point.
Well, he feels that he won't. I tell you what, he didn't probably want anybody that were a Trumper. Trumpies. Yes. You call me a Trumpy. I guess you call me a Trumpy. So he didn't want anybody to be a Trumpy coming in there, because then they're going to challenge some of his foolish and irresponsible decisions. They're going to hold him accountable. So he wants everybody to just be in lockstep with him, and that's the way he's going to continue to lead that organization. You just find good foot soldiers that will stand at the position of attention when you walk into the room. Shame on him. He's got problems over there. They got to fix it.
But
Big problem.
what can you guys do in the House? You've got the majority now. I know that there's going to be oversight on January 6th. That stupid committee is going to go away. I know Fauci's going to be called in. The NIH, the CDC, the FDA, everybody's got to be called in. I would love to see the CEOs of Pfizer and Moderna called in when it comes to COVID. I mean, all of those things are going to happen. But what can you literally do when it comes to stopping this ridiculous spending that's going on? Because the House can say we're going to defund the 87,000 new tax agents. We're going to stop sending $38 billion to Ukraine, and if the Senate doesn't agree, you can't stop it.
Well, we do have the power of the purse here over appropriations,
Yes.
and Leader McCarthy, who will be the speaker, has stated one of the first businesses of January 3rd is repeal, get rid of that 87,000 IRS agents to go after the American people. So I think that Leader McCarthy, he's going to be the speaker. We have Steve Scalise. I think he's very well respected. He's going to be a great majority leader. And then we've got Tom Emmer now as the whip. We had a very contentious fought out election yesterday with the whip's position. So we just got to hold our leadership accountable. And today we've been in hearing meetings all day talking about conference rules. So I think that we're building some unity here. Yes, there were 31 that voted against Speaker McCarthy to be the leader in our little meeting, but it doesn't really matter until January 3rd. You're not going to have 31 people voting against Leader McCarthy to be speaker. He's going to be the Speaker of the House. We're gonna hold him accountable. He understands just how important it is having 3 or 4 seat majority. He's not comfortable with that when everybody said it'd be 25 to 30. So he's going to have to work with the House Freedom Caucus, and I'm a member of the House Freedom Caucus, and so we're going to hold our leadership accountable and put the American people first.
Are we gonna see the kind of oversight that the American people need when it comes to COVID, when it comes to January 6th, when it comes to stopping drilling and ending fossil fuels? We've got such a radical agenda coming out of the White House, and now the Senate's going to be able to continue to push that. Can you guys put the brakes on?
Yeah, we're going to have 2 great speakers. Government oversight reform will be Representative Comer. He's going to do a great job. He's going to be the chair. And then, of course, my favorite, Jim Jordan. He's going to be the chair of Judiciary. I'm fighting to get on that committee because I think we need to have Christopher Wray, Garland, Mayorkas. We need to have them all. We need to have Fauci. We need to have Hunter and the laptop in front of our committees because the people in my district, they demand answers. You haven't been getting any answers from the dishonest media. This administration has covered it all up. They've covered up Hunter. They protected Hunter. We need to get them all in front of our committees to get true answers. Whether you talk about the CEOs from Pfizer and Moderna, yeah, we should have conversations with them as well. So we need to have a lot of investigations because our people demand it.
U.S. Representative Troy Nehls, District 22, Republican, great state of Texas. Make sure you get this book. It's called The Big Fraud. You can show it again if you still have it right there, Troy, if you don't mind. Go and get this book right now, The Big Fraud. It's #1 in the election category a few weeks ago on Amazon. Go and get this. One last question. I don't know if you've looked into this at all, but this FTX crypto guy, the allegation that's being made, and if you don't know anything about this yet, just let me know. Allegations being made that he somehow was taking money from Ukraine to finance some Democrats in their reelection campaign for the midterms. Is there any line that you can see connecting our money, taxpayer money, going to Ukraine, somehow funneled to this guy who then financed Democrats? Is there anything to that, Troy?
Well, number one, his last name is Bankman. I know a little bit about the guy. His name is Bankman. There you go. He's banking it. You know, the fact is that he was the #2 donor under George Soros.
Yeah.
George Soros was #1, and he gave the Democrats a ton of money, gave them millions of dollars. Millions. So I think that we need to look at this guy as well. And I am so glad, Joe, I am so comfortable in my no vote for Ukraine. I wasn't going to give him $40 billion. It's not like I don't support the people of the Ukraine, but we shouldn't even be in the Ukraine when you had Donald Trump in office. Putin exposed the weakness of this administration. So now the American people, there's an open checkbook. Now Biden wants another billions and billions of dollars. When is it going to stop? There is no end state. There is no end game. There's no strategy with this administration as it deals with Putin and the Ukraine.
Right.
And it's got to stop. And we don't need a third World War II. Zelensky put out a little video the other day blaming Russia for the missile into Poland. We got to be very careful about this because Putin is a savory character. He's a murderer, but at least Donald Trump kept him in check.
Yes.
Donald Trump kept him in check.
And by the way, we found out that was a defense missile from Ukraine. It was not a Russian missile. So that whole thing could have sparked a war. And thank God we investigated and found out first. Troy, come back anytime. I love having you on. It's U.S. Representative Troy Nehls. Thanks a million, man. Go and get The Big Fraud and pop it on to today at the last minute to get all this news out there was excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Joe. God bless you and all your listeners and viewers.
Right back at you, brother. All right, we're back after this. Stay right here.
This is the Joe Pags Show.
One in the chat if you liked it. Let's go. One in the chat if you liked it. We should have time for a quick pop. I'll be tossing to Gabby afterwards. And I'm going to give her a shout out. What that'll do is it'll give you the opportunity to press the heart button right there above the chat. Makes it easy for you. So make that happen right now. Just press that heart button. Make sure you're following her channel. She's getting a lot lately, and a lot of you are stepping up, and I appreciate that. She's my 22-year-old daughter. Sings, dances, plays, has just a great time, and really does get it done. And it's a very, very good stream, very, very entertaining. It's a lot of fun. Just click on that heart button, and you'll get a follow to my daughter, Gabby. I'm going to be tossing it to her afterwards. I'll rate her afterwards. Vicky, thanks for the 1,000 bits. Very nice of you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Troy's last name is Nehls. Pronounces it Nails. Yeah, Kerry reported that it's an S-300 Russian air defense missile. It's an old one that Russia used to have in there in Ukraine. And, again, it was being used as a Ukraine defense missile, and they shot it into Poland. Then Zelensky said Russia did it. Of course, red leg, of course. We appreciate the representative coming on with his insight into what happened last night, what's happening in the House and the Senate. Let's do some pop culture. Up.
Dirty Pop.
Talk to me, Paulo.
So I thought this was kind of interesting because you've brought this up before, but you know how you mentioned CNN, whenever they do their New Year's Eve coverage, that most of the time everybody seems like they've been
They're
drinking
drunk.
a lot.
Yeah, they're drunk.
Yeah, so I guess now they're saying that they're not gonna allow that to happen anymore.
It only took 4 years of a drunken Don Lemon. Come on, man. All right.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good move, I think. That's Polo. That's Sam. That's Carrie. I'm Joe. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
This is the Joe Pag Show.
Hi, people. I appreciate you hanging out. Thanks a lot. Polo, have a great night. Thank you, sir. All right, Sam. Love you, honey.
Bye.
Hurry up. Hurry up. Get it. Get it. All right, people. That's what Sam does. We actually compete every night to see who's gonna click the audio off first, and she wins tonight. I got her last night though. All right, I'm gonna raid Gabby right now. Thanks a lot for hanging out. If you guys like the show, give me a big fat 1 before I send you over. Give you a big fat 1. We gave you a couple of great interviews. I think we had some fun in between. Justin Trudeau, I think, pooped himself. Let's just put it out there. I think it might have been a little poop there. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know why you lift your leg a couple of times like a dog like that. He definitely was at least airing it out. We appreciate you hanging out. Do me a favor if you haven't already. When you go to joepags.com, you can go there on the right-hand side on your computer screen, and it's also right there on the app as well, or in your mobile. Just go to joepags.com and click on your favorite social media. Make sure you're following there. I am building the Instagram with the Come On videos, and a couple have gone nuts lately. We're also building the YouTube. I want them to send me a plaque to get to 100,000. We're at 27,000 now. And go check those out. We had one that caught fire pretty well today about Ukraine and about Zelensky, so go check those out. Do me a favor and go and follow. It doesn't cost you anything. We appreciate you doing that. Going to send it over to Gabby right now, and I want you to have some fun with her show. She may be playing a game tonight. Might be playing some Fortnite tonight. Have an incredible night. We're back tomorrow. More great guests.